Athlete and Westside on XFM 104.9. Sunny day, 2007.
It's going so well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Going so well, but
Ricky
then,
Gervais.
once again, the English language tripped you up.
The mouth with the tongue lips
Exactly.
was all over the brain and talk. The brain and talk through the throat. Oh dear.
Oh, language is his tool. So, Rick, I think we should do some introductions, because I think it seems to me every week everyone knows who you are, because you're, the face of the moment, but they forget who, me and the K-Man are.
Well, with me, Steve Merchant.
Hi.
And the K-Man, who's our producer and friend. And can I just say that I really look forward to this show. Like, I get, oh great, we're going to do a show and we're going to play some tracks we like and have a laugh. But now I'm looking forward to meeting Karl.
Of course.
Honestly, I come in and I see his face and I go, alright. And I'm, just great, like just a little friend. Do you know what I mean? You know when a kid comes around to play with a friend, you go, oh, and they come out to play, and it's like little friends. It's like that with Karl.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't see him in the week, you see. We deliberately stay away from him in the week so that he'll be fresh to us.
Yeah,
go on.
You start off friendly, like you did today, and as soon as Steve turns up, you start getting nasty and saying things about my little bald head.
No, I said, look, okay, right, listen, let me explain. Karl was making the tea, and you know those bins, the sort of like a round sort of Metal Mickey type bin that you can take off the thing? I went, oh, that would make a good little helmet. It would make it look like Metal Mickey, because it's the same shape as his head.
Sure.
Right? And I put it on, and
so far, so good, Rick. No problem there. That's just two mates having a laugh.
Right.
You're putting a bin on another man's head.
Right. So I put it on, and the swing bit, through gravity and the angle, swung and hit him in the nose.
Sure.
Right? He went, ow! And I went, I said something like, it's alright.
Yeah, of course, because you were being amused.
Yeah, I said, it's alright, don't worry.
Yeah.
And he went, no, I've just washed my hair.
Yeah.
That annoyed me.
That did annoy you, sure.
Because there was lots of, like, shit and coffee and horrible, gunk.
In his hair, or?
No, in the inside of the bin.
Sure.
But what annoyed me is, he's hardly got any hair.
Let's be honest, he looks like Moby.
Yeah, so I said, I took the bin off.
Yeah.
And I was having that, and I thought, you
ruined my fun, is what
you
you
know
thought.
what I mean? I said, what's your hair? I said, we could do that now in 30 seconds.
Yes.
And he looked at me like I was in the wrong.
I know. Rick, that annoys me about him.
I know.
That doesn't annoy me about him. But otherwise, he's like childlike.
Yeah,
in so many other ways. He doesn't understand that he's hurting your emotions and your feelings.
But also, right, we were playing football, so I can't play football, right, and so we were playing
Was that just in the office, or?
Yeah, just in the office before he came, right, and we were sort of kicking it back and forth, and I started kicking it a bit hard, and but he was quite good. I said, this is great, right, and we finished anyway, because we thought we'd break some, and I went, I bet you were quite good at football, weren't you? And I thought he looked like quite a natural, I thought he'd be good, he's from the north, and I thought that's all he'd have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Right? And he went, I said, I suppose you're quite good at football. And he turned, the quickest flash, I went, I've scored once. Right? He said, and that's because I was being chased by a bee. And I went, save it.
Yeah.
He went, no, I said, please save it, because I want to tell Steve that. No, you can continue now.
Please tell us the rest of the story. You've scored a goal once, because you're being chased by a bee.
Yeah, you've done it now, really. I was on the,
there must be more to that story, man.
I was in the school team. I wasn't that good as a kid at football, to be honest. Mainly down to, I think it's because of my dad. My dad wasn't into football.
Right.
And I think that's the way it works, isn't it? If your dad's into it, then you could be a footballer when you're older.
Sure.
Yep.
Because you're into it. And so I was in the school team because I got on with the other lads. They let me in the team.
Popular guy, yeah. Sure.
And I was stood there doing nothing because I didn't really know what to do. I never knew which way I was meant to be shooting.
Yeah.
Got all that messed up.
Yeah, that is a
I just stood there, right, and with my hands behind my back, and something landed on me, on like this part of my thumb. You
can't just point, it's radio.
It's this bit here.
Right, yeah.
The fleshy bit, of the thumb, yeah.
And I thought, oh, what's that? And I looked down, and
it was a thumb. Oh, it was a bee, yeah.
It was a bee on me. So I start running, try to get away from it, and bees, actually something interesting about bees, more chance of getting stung by a bee in windy weather than any other sort of weather.
That's incredible.
Anyway, so I'm running away.
And he said there was no more.
Extraordinary. I've already learned many things. You're being chased by the bees.
So
windy.
I'm running.
It's on your thumb. Is it still on your thumb now?
It's sort of gripping onto me like a stag beetle.
Clever.
Like a stag beetle. I love it. Oh,
or a bee.
Yeah.
So I'm running, and I'm running towards like the goal.
Yeah.
Like, oh God! And the ball comes to me.
Yes.
Wallop, get it in.
Brilliant. What happened to the bee there? Did it sting you?
They die, don't they?
I mean, ultimately it died, sure, but at that particular moment, did it sting you?
This was probably about 20 years ago, so I imagine.
No. Once a bee stings you.
So did it sting you?
Yeah, but did it sting you?
Yeah.
Right, that was the question.
When did it sting you?
when I was playing football.
Carl, do you want me asking, you say you're on the school football team. Was there just 11 boys at your school? Was that how you got in the squad?
Listen, Carl. All I mean is, at what point in this story did the bee sting you? Straight away?
After half time.
Play a record, man.
Oh, he's the best! Depeche Mode, I Feel Loved, on XFM 104.9. It's about 17 minutes past 1 on this Saturday.
Go on.
Will never interrupt me when it's going that well.
Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking of.
That was my record. That was about 4 or 5 sentences.
True.
They
I don't
had
know what I was thinking.
semantic syntax, there was capital letters, full stops, grammar,
You
everything.
didn't even get the time out, did you?
Why?
What time was it? Quick, what time was it? I interrupted,
17
sorry, I
minutes
should know.
past.
I was so eager.
1. XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais. With me,
Steve
Smirch,
Smirch.
and the K-Man.
The K-Man. We're all giving ourselves nicknames now.
Yeah.
Can I just clear something up? This is only a very, very personal thing. Lots of people who listen to the show that I've spoken to, friends of friends and stuff, they think that I'm the guy that plays Gareth in The Office. Because my voice is obviously very similar.
It couldn't be further than the truth.
That's so not the case. If anyone's listening, they
Couldn't
think
be
it's
further
me.
than the truth. It
I
could be
don't
like
want
a
to take
table
credit
playing
for
it.
Mackenzie's performance. That's a guy called Mackenzie Crook. He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen his performance. It's not me. Admittedly, he has loosely based his accent for the character on my accent, because obviously it's a comical accent. We all admit that.
Yeah.
We'll agree with that. But that's it. That's where the similarity ends.
Yeah.
Alright.
Mackenzie's a good-looking fella, isn't he?
He's a good-looking lad.
I mean, that's not
You're not
a
digging me. I know, because you're saying I'm a good-looking guy as well. You're just
You're-
saying we're two differently good-looking guys.
Yeah, Carl, it's all people are all different looks. I mean, you could say Brad Pitt's good looking, and then you could say George Clooney's good looking, and they're both great looking blokes. They don't look alike.
Exactly.
So for me to say Steve and Mackenzie aren't alike, Mackenzie's a good looking fella.
Exactly.
You know,
just
that
mean
if you
that
looked
I-
at
just
the
says I'm
Venn
a good-looking guy in a
diagram
different
there, they weren't mutually exclusive. There would be a crossover of good lookingness.
Yeah.
And
I'm
that'd
in
be
that pool with Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Wow.
Well, it's quite a big pool, Rick, and I'm in there, certainly with them.
Yeah. Not. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in one of those Venn diagram circles.
You are. Yeah. You're over this one. See what's in there?
I noticed that's a separate one, floating off from all the others.
Yeah. Lizards and parrots.
Ah, right.
Okay,
Right.
so
It's good to be included in something, though. It's good to be part of a gang, Carl. That's very important.
Yeah.
Right, if that's cleared up.
Depeche Mode
Good.
there, and I Feel Loved. Who'd have thought Depeche Mode would have been that huge? I think I've seen little lads from Basildon with little plinky plonky sound. I thought that'd be it. They'd be like Visage or something. That'd be it. And now they're stadium rock fillers. They're huge. They conquered America. He went through some hard times. He came out the other way, and well done.
But see, I think what you just said there is a very good example of why they are and why certain other bands aren't. Because if you think about it, for me, you see, whenever I think of a band name, if I see a new band's come along or whatever, I always use a very simple test, which is, can you imagine that you're the announcer at a huge event? Maybe it's like broadcasting around the world, like Live Aid or
Nelson
something.
Mandela
Or it's
concert.
a Nelson Mandela Freedom concert.
Yeah.
And you can imagine someone
He's there. He's there.
Nelson's there.
Yeah,
Everyone's
with the
there.
Spice Girls.
Oh, they're all there. But you can imagine someone saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Depeche Mode."
Yeah.
It's
The
Ladies and
Rolling
gentlemen,
Stones. The Who.
exactly. But you can't imagine someone saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Visage."
Ladies and
I mean?
gentlemen, will you please welcome our headline act? Welcome Idlewild!
Exactly. Ladies and
doesn't-
gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Ned's Atomic Dustbin. It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? You just know.
The
that
Levelers!
some bands aren't going to make it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mega City 4. Do you know what I mean? It's
So it's just a simple test. We'd like you to do that at
If
home.
you're thinking of starting a band, or you've just named your band, you're
Yeah.
just beginning, just phone in, tell us, or email in, tell us what your
Yeah.
band name is,
And we will
will
do-
use that simple
and
test.
we will do the test. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage
The Franken Walters.
Jimmy Eat World?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Cooper Temple Claws. I don't think it's going to happen for those lads.
Here's a good
It's
one.
a simple test anyway, but
100
email.
reasons, please welcome to the stage. 100 reasons.
100 reasons I think would work quite well. I'm just going to give the email address, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Reasons, if I could.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage, Pop Will Eat Itself. Carl, have you got like a sound effect or something of like, can we get the atmosphere
Cheering.
if we're going to test?
Cheering. We'll seek it out with.
Have you got something there? Have a look on there. I'm just looking in the NME, for the kind of forthcoming gigs of the smaller known bands, and it might be a useful place to just begin the.
Ladies and gentlemen, peoples around the world, will you please welcome to the stage Chumba Awamba?
Have you got a sound effect? Have you got one? Nice, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage the Parkinsons? Playing in Leicester this week, so look forward to that.
That's a good plug, isn't it?
Let me see who else.
If anyone wants to pop down to Leicester to see the Parkinsons.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Cyclefly.
Okay.
Oh, there's a genuine one here. This is someone. Simon's emailed and he says, "Will you just test this name for us, Carl? If you can, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage Coach." Not utterly convinced.
No,
it's not too bad. It's not.
I'm worried about the sound effect. We start to sound like Chris Moyles or something. When
Well, he's a top broadcaster. Everyone loves him.
Losing weight as well.
He is hilarious. funny man. Just there's one more coming here. I'll just check this one.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome, this is Chris in Oxford, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, meanwhile back in communist Russia.
Is that a band?
I assume so.
I assume it's his band,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Well, how does he listen to us in, hold on, though, this is only local radio. How does he listen to us in Oxford?
Well, if only there was some kind of digital format that he could listen via the web net.
What is
Carl,
it?
What is
Can do
the,
that.
What is it?
What?
how does he listen in Oxford?
You can listen on Sky Digital,
Go on.
channel 864,
Lovely.
864. Yeah.
and
On the
on the
internet?
web,
Yeah.
Okay, what would that web address be?
xfm.co.uk.
Sure.
Click on the audio.
Yep.
And you get XFM 10 seconds behind it actually happened.
Perfect.
Just of interest, what's the point of saying that if they can't sort of get us in London to listen to that, because they won't be, unless they're either in London, so they won't go through this nonsense, or they're in Leicester, and they can't hear us saying Sky Digital.
Yeah, we haven't thought that through at all.
And
Because you might work in London for a bit and then have
go back and spread the word.
and like leave,
Yeah.
Go back and spread the word. Disciples.
move back to Leicester,
Yeah.
tell your mates.
Yeah. Soon,
only a number of combinations.
Soon, XFM is the most listened to radio station in Britain.
Yeah.
What we need is people on Radio 2 to give it a plug every day.
That'd be ideal.
Yeah, or Radio 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the big rivals. Virgin.
Yeah.
I mean, we've often plugged Virgin. It was a good station.
105.8 Virgin Radio London.
It's a great station. Really good station.
Hard 106.2.
Lovely.
You're listening to Magic 105.4.
Are you're getting quite a lot of voiceover work now, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
That's not.
I've stopped all that though.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. It was
You know.
good.
Well, I'm all right now. I've got a bit of money.
Classic 60s bands. I've just suddenly. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage The Scaffold?
Oh, the Scaffold. You
remember
picked
the Scaffold, Carl?
You picked the lead singer looks a bit like him. But you know whose brother that is in the Scaffold, don't you? Mike McGear. Do you know whose brother that is?
What?
Do you remember the
The
Scaffold? They did,
Scaffold. Yeah, I remember
we'll
the
drink
Scaffold.
a drink to Lily the Pink, the
And
Pink, the
didn't they
Pink,
do
the
that?
Pink, oh,
The
the
Roses
human
advert as well?
race.
Yeah, thank you very much for the entry. Iron. Do you know whose brother that is?
Whose brother? The lead singer?
No, the Mike McGear in it. Sort of one of the main men in it.
He's one of the songwriters in
McGee. No,
The
no.
Scaffold.
Paul McCartney.
You're
Is he?
joking.
Yeah,
I didn't realise that.
yeah, that's Paul McCartney's brother. Think of that when they go home for Christmas. So I think Lily the Pink was what, about 1970?
Yeah. It was number one, wasn't it? Christmas
Yeah,
number one.
yeah, big number one, yeah. I don't know if it was Christmas number one. Two Little Boys was 1969, last year.
No, it definitely was number one.
Yeah, but I don't know if it
The
was
Scaffold
Christmas
was.
number
It was,
one.
because I remember I did it in some
Really?
words, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they go home at Christmas and Mrs. McCartney goes, alright boys, how are you, Paul, how are you doing? I'm just starting a new band called Wings. Yeah, oh yeah, so this is Linda. Alright, yeah, sit down. Mike, what are you doing? Just had a number one. Brilliant, round of applause. How many number ones do you have, Paul? 19. Still. We know what we like, don't we?
We'll drink,
Drink,
the
drink,
human race.
Paul goes, wow, if you want to. The long and winding.
Boring. We'll
Oh,
drink.
wow.
Linda, do you want to be in the Scaffold? We're probably going to go on tour and stuff. I know you love it. Well, I quite like it. Yeah. We'll
Hold on,
drink.
whoa. You're not
What's it called?
going to be in Wings if you're going to play with him.
Well, I got make a tricky decision. I mean, that's a
No,
great song.
what are you
Everyone's
doing-
loving it.
what
It's
are you-
Christmas number one.
What are you doing eating his bacon?
Well, I love
you
it.
You don't eat bacon.
Yeah, but I love the music. He's a great
Stop
guy.
it. What are you doing?
Well, I just, I love the music.
I
We'll
can't
drink.
believe it.
No, you don't.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so...
Thank you very much for that.
Aintree Iron.
Imagine that, because imagine how different going, well, you've had 19 number ones. I mean, you know, it can be a matter of time. Yeah, if things stay like this with the scaffold, I'm going to rule the 70s.
Yeah, if things that carry on going like they're going now, the scaffold, ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome
to the stage, Beck.
Oh, nice one. Dandy Warhols. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Dandy Warhols.
There you are, it's never going to
That sounds like Levellers crossed with Wonder Stuff.
Rubbish, isn't it, really? I mean, well, you know, it's fine, it's chirpy.
It's a nice old song, but it's, you know, it's not...
It's that thing of it's just not essential. You just don't really need it in your life. If it never occurred, you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you know what Carl just said?
Go on.
Were you listening?
Not really.
He looked out the window, and he looked at me, and he was looking at me, and I looked over at him, and I said, see, now's that would be good to die now. Like, what? He went, that weather, that would be good to die. And I said, of what? He went, old age.
Yeah.
What's going on up there?
He's a philosopher, Rick.
He is,
He's on a different plane to us.
You can't say it like that. The other week, I came in when it was really miserable, and I said to you, God, can you imagine dying today?
Yeah.
Whereas today you feel it would be a much better day to die because it's bright.
The curtains open, sun shining. It's like...
I mean, you'd still be a bit angsty about the dying thing, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't suppose that would be alleviated.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll still be broadcasting, you know, when one of us reaches that happy moment, and we can check.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of emails, Rick, coming in about band names. I think a lot of people are going wrong for a simple reason. They think it's funny to have an ironic band name.
Yeah.
They think it's a bit comical. And I just don't think there's any great bands that have had a comical name that have made it into stadium filling.
What was that band? Where's Me Jumper? What were they called?
I don't know what they were called. I mean, the obvious example of one that was never going to make it internationally.
Splodgeness Abounds? Splodgeness Abounds?
No.
I like them, though.
Splodgeness Abounds.
Splodgeness Abounds, they were great.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Carter the Unstoppable Sex Machine.
USM.
These are some of the ones we've had emailed in. These are bands, obviously, that haven't made it so far, and I don't think they will. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, the Lazy Birds. Nope.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, the Paperclips.
That's not a real band,
That's what someone sent in.
I don't know, yeah, but no band name is weirder than the others, and also you grow into it. I mean, the Stones and the Beatles are iconic because they are iconic bands.
What you think you'll grow into? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shuttle Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Treehouse Casino. I don't think they're gonna...
That's just made up!
Well, possibly.
Well, they all are,
but they all
obviously.
Are. But my point is, people say there's no logic to band names, but if you think a band name like the Smiths, that's genius.
It is,
It sums up everything that band is about, you know, the kind of... They're capturing that mediocre world of grim up northness, you know.
My favourite, Sonic Youth.
Sonic Youth is genius.
Nirvana.
These are incredible band names, so there is some logic to it. I genuinely believe it. It's not just arbitrary words.
What about
The
Madness?
Cure. The Cure.
Madness sounds rubbish, but they're good, aren't they?
Yeah, but again, they were never going to be... They were never going to be world beaters.
But they were a comical band, essentially.
Yeah,
they were a knees-up party band, and Madness is fine for that.
But they had some great songs as well, and then it sort of turned it all, because then...
I mean, Rick, I don't know how many members...
Not Home Today is a great song, and
this is from an email. I don't know how many members of the band there are in Chimney Factory, but if there's 5 people, who decided? Have they all agreed? Yeah, that's the best name we can come up with.
Decided? Dell.
Right.
Well, he started the band, and they rehearsed round his house, so Dale went, look, it's called Chimney Factory, because my granny's doing it. They go, alright, Dale, but it's not, I've got some other, but no, it's called Chimney Factory.
I own the van and the amps.
Has Paperclips gone? There's a band in Leicester called Paperclips. We can't, you know, we'd just argue over that forever.
Anyway, just all I'm saying is think before you name your band, alright? Because it's never going to happen if you've got a comical band name.
There was a feminist band called Clitoris All Sorts, which is quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, but you laugh, and then you just think, oh...
Yeah.
You know, I'm never going to have that on my t-shirt. Imagine that. Clitoris All Sorts.
It's that time of the day now, talking of that.
Yep.
Song for the Lovers.
Sure, it's beautiful.
Now, Steve, I mean, I will play great old tunes till the cows come home. We got to give them a little bit of Dandy Warhols and Air and Athlete. I know that, and they're great, they're good, right? But, I wanted to play a Cat Stevens song, but I thought I'd better not, because I've, you know, play that a little bit. And we quite like resurrecting old reputations, don't we? People like Elton John who had bad faces, or David Bowie.
People
and,
whose names now are largely laughed at in the serious rock
or people
circles.
that people might not have considered. I thought Cat Stevens, oh no, Rod Stewart, I thought.
Well, see, Rod Stewart, many people now are thinking of the leopard hot pants and the ludicrous
Do you
hair.
think I'm sexy and all those sort of awful stadium sort of disco things, but he wrote beautiful tracks from Maggie May through, and I thought, hold on, two birds with one stone. What about a Rod Stewart song written by Cat Stevens?
Wow. Is there such a thing?
The first cut is the deepest.
Let's hear it, Rick.
On this album as well is The Killing of George. Georgie Part 1 and 2, remember? About the gay bloke. Georgie Boy was gay, I guess. His favourite song. Carl's favourite song.
Yeah.
Right?
Brilliant.
And I was going, oh yeah, I remember that, yeah. I said about, and I said, did not intend to take his life, he just pushed it when he gets mugged and killed. Do you know what he said?
Go on.
I was sitting outside, I was singing, he went, well, as I said, they go out too late.
They go out too late?
He meant gay people go out too late. He went, no, they do. I went, what do you mean? He said, well, they're always out, they go out when people are coming home. He said, if he'd have been in bed by 10, he'd still be alive today.
That's a sobering lesson,
And he went,
Carl.
there's one that works here and he's shattered every Monday.
Oh, if you're gay and you're listening, just be in bed earlier. Go
Yeah.
out when sensible people go out.
Yeah.
You're right, we're not on the continent, Carl, is your point.
If you're gay and you're not in bed by 10, go home.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
First cut is the deepest, Rod Stewart.
Song for the night.
Air, Don't Be Light, XFM, 104.9, 5 to 2.
Absolutely.
Ricky Gervais with me,
Steve
Merchant, Smirch,
Smirch.
the Smirch,
The Smirch.
and the K-Man, KP, Karl Pilkington, the K-Man.
Pressing the buttons.
Yeah. See that in Heat this week?
What was it?
About the campaign to stop Karl going back to Manchester. You know, because he's a miserable sort of northerner who goes, London's crap and I want to go back up north.
Yeah.
And I only need 40 quid a week to live up there like King and all that sort of
Yes.
rubbish. Right, well, Boyd from Heat, well, we met him at the, that award ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
And, we were saying about, oh yeah, he really enjoys Karl. He's getting a lot of
people
people
love
like
him, people
Karl.
love him.
And I was going, oh yeah, but he's thinking of leaving. He was going, oh, start a campaign. And he did, and he put it in there. So the campaign, so write in if you like Karl. If you think he's really annoying, then we'll stop talking to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like him.
I love him.
Yeah.
Have you ever read the White Van Man column in The Sun, Carl?
seen it,
Are you
yeah.
familiar with this? This is where every day in The Sun they interview a guy who drives a white van, just, in order to get the kind of voice of the man on the street in the paper. And he has to answer, or just give his opinions really on events that have made the news each week. Just thought we could maybe throw some of these at you, Carl.
Go on then.
Because we know to see what your views are.
Yeah.
So, just the first thing that comes to your mind, the sort of your initial reaction to
It's
each of
just
these.
top all things, but you don't need to know about them, it's just your philosophy on it.
Yeah,
so,
just your views.
You know, yeah.
I have had a few days off this week, remember, so I don't know what's going on in the world.
Yeah, you stayed in London though, didn't you?
Yeah,
You didn't bury yourself, did you?
I normally see the news, but I didn't this week.
Okay. So what was your view on Will Young beating Gareth Gates in the final of Pop Idol?
Don't like him. You know what I was thinking about when I was watching it all the way through?
Yeah.
How he looks like he's got a wire coat hanger in his gob. That sort of...
Right.
Again, it's radio, Karl.
Radio.
It's a great
so
face.
The funny face you're pulling doesn't
Yeah,
translate.
and, a radio.
And that's a problem for you, is it?
And just the way he's from a really rich family. I opened up the paper on the Monday or something, and it had like, he went to a posh school and he's got loads of money already.
Yeah.
It's just a bit...
Okay. Right, now, what's the second
All right.
question?
There have been huge rises in street crime, especially muggings and carjackings. What's your view there?
More youth clubs are needed, aren't they?
You think more youth clubs?
I like that.
No? Okay.
I like that because it's so 1950s.
Yeah,
it's sort of like you want a Bobby on the beat that'll clip you around the ear.
So once they've come
Is
out of
it-
national service,
yeah! No, I love that. And if you find someone smoking a wood bomb, you make them smoke 50.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is great. That is great.
Did you used to go to youth clubs?
Yeah.
And they kept you out of trouble?
You used to get into a fight afterwards when
Sure.
you came out.
But for the sort of hour and a
It was
half you were
alright.
there.
You had a bit of pool and some boxing and
Yeah.
a bit of pop.
Yeah.
So more youth clubs, that's good.
I love him. I love him. If you're at home, just make notes, because this is brilliant stuff. Honestly, you won't hear more honest, from the heart
Exactly,
stuff
opinions.
than this. This is great. Go on.
This is not pre-planned. These are your direct responses now.
Oh,
as you hear these.
I promise you, Karl did not know what we were going to do. He never knows what we're going to do, and he always answers honestly. That is the beauty of Karl.
What is
it's
your
not
view-
an act.
Go on.
What is your view, Karl, on New York's former mayor becoming Sir Rudy Giuliani. Sir Rudy Giuliani.
Is he happy with it?
He appears to be pleased with it.
Let it go ahead.
Fair enough. Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, he's genius.
Okay.
Is he happy with it? He's like your nan.
Yeah, yeah. What do you make of Michael Greco's character Beppe being axed from EastEnders? Problem for you?
The whole soap thing. What's it's back in Coronation Street, isn't she? What's her name?
Who?
Bet Lynn's. She
yeah.
thought she'd go off and be a bigger star.
Yeah.
All went wrong, and now she's coming back.
Yeah. Always happens, doesn't it?
Beppe will be back.
Yeah.
No one really cares.
Sure.
What was the van reply? That was the guy.
The White Van Man says, obviously they feel the character has run his course, but I think he's a pretty good actor and I can't understand why. So, I mean, obviously there's a White Van Man there who's also got an opinion on script development.
The through line, yeah.
The narrative through line of soap opera.
The 12-week narrative, the arc really showed itself up.
The two last ones I want your opinion on here. What do you make of a cat that's been cloned in a secret 2.5 million research project?
To find out what?
If they can clone
it?
cats, yeah.
Have they had to hurt it?
Sorry?
Have they had to sort of hurt it to do that?
Have they had to hurt it?
Yeah, or is it just scraping its tongue for some stuff?
I think the cat's fine. The point is that they're cloning another creature which is potentially very dangerous. Have you seen that film where they bring Hitler back?
That cat, what if that cat turned out to be a world dictator?
Exactly. What do you reckon of cloning generally, Carl? You concerned about it?
Well, I think they're cloning for organs, they grow them for the,
Do you know what cloning means?
Yeah, it's when you, make something else, that's the same, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to do any harm.
Okay. And finally...
When you're on the World Council.
Yeah. Finally, what do you make of some city workers who were caught bonking in the glass lifts of the Lloyd's building?
What do I make of it?
Yeah. Is that a problem for you? Do you think that's unprofessional?
Was it the lunch break, or...?
I think it was lunch break.
It was their own...
It's alright.
It's their own time, I think, fair enough. It only takes 45 seconds to go from the bottom to the top. Is that a problem? They moved quickly. They acted, on instinct. You think fair enough? If that's their natural instincts and they're both consenting, you think fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks very much, Carl.
Thanks very much, Carl.
Carl, we'll have more of Carl's world-weary opinions next time on the show. Listen, I want to play a track that I love.
I can't wait for this track. It's by a great band. Just going to do it before Steve does this. Coming up, we're going to give away a great game. I'm sort of clearing out my flat. We're tidying out, and then we've got a lot of junk there. And we're going to give away a great game coming up. You've seen it, Steve. You're excited.
I'm looking forward to that. It's a board game.
It's a board game that we're all going to sign. It's going to be signed by Gervais, Smirch, KP, the K-Man. So you could win that.
The classic album Copper Blue by Sugar. Listening to it again recently, reminded how good it was. Yeah. This is the track Hoover Dam. Play it.
White Stripes, fell in love with a girl on XFM 104.9, it's 2:10. Right, okay, that's the first hour out of the way. Next hour, Steve, I've got a game to give away. As I say, I'm sort of cleaning out my flat a little bit, and we were going to throw away stuff, and I went, oh, whoa, don't throw that away.
Yeah.
I can give that away on the show, because XFM don't give us anything to give away.
No.
Does anyone care what happens weekends?
No.
There's people coming here going, oh, he hasn't turned up, fiddling with stuff, fire alarms going off. The library, but we were looking for a track we played a couple of weeks ago on the same album, and it's gone.
Yeah, it's been pinched since we last played it.
This is I can't believe it, they're moving, that's like a tip out there, and I have to...
No, it is a disgrace, Carl.
It is. It is absolutely, it's disgusting.
How many of the DJs on this station have won multiple awards like Ricky Gervais?
Yeah. How
many of them are double award winning?
To have someone of my calibre. I hurt my ankle, didn't I? Moving a chair. I had to move my own chair in here, and I hit my ankle. That'll teach me not to wear socks.
Yeah.
The socks would have just taken out the sting.
I think just walking around barefoot generally is a bad idea in London. There's the needles, Rick, there's all sorts of stuff.
Well, Posh does it in her video, she walks around barefoot.
Oh, you love
My
it.
heart's got a mind of its own.
Ricky absolutely loves the current Victoria Beckham
Yeah,
film.
I like the sentiment, my heart's got a mind of its own. It's like, doesn't matter what I'm thinking in my head, my heart says something else. Of course, what we did for the last week was change the lyrics.
Just walked around for ages.
Does anyone else do that? Just going, things like, my wife's got a cock of her own. Things like that, and
seriously, hours of amusement doing that.
Just changing it. Just
my knob's got some balls of its own.
We're doing that for a week. Meant to be working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were going to give away this game, Rick.
Yeah, it's called Donutters, and it's a game for 4 players, or 2 to 4 players.
Have you ever played it yourself?
We sort of got it for a party, and I watched some people,
Can I try and sell it to punters who may...
Yeah, go on.
Play the part of a crazy, donut-loving elephant in this hilarious game of fun and fast action.
Yeah. You put on a little elephant thing and you have to pull up get up the donuts.
Brilliant. Can you be the first elephant to get all your donuts on your trunk? Be the first one... sorry, the first one is...
Sorry, this isn't a sex game, by the way. There's no euphemisms there.
Some of this is a bit slightly damaged, the packaging, that's why I couldn't read that.
You're joking?
Yeah. But don't worry, because you're not asking much for this, are you? We'll start at £5. Bear in mind, it'll be signed by double award-winning Ricky Gervais.
No, of course it's free. And, Carl went, you got a question? I went, no. He said, well, something about the Elephant Man. I went,
Something about the elephant.
yeah, and I went, yeah. You know what, John Merrick? He went, yeah. He went, yeah, something about that. Awful, wasn't it? I went, you know where Michael Jackson actually bid for the skeleton of that? And, he went, what, would the skeleton be affected? I went, without it grows, that's what happens, it's nice. And he went, you don't see any of that about these days, do you? I just said, save it.
Although, of course, you have to put on these masks when you play Donutters, so in a strange way, that looks kind of Merrick-esque.
Yeah.
And the game, Rick, I should just tell people listening, is Elephantastic.
It is.
It says that on the box.
It is Elephantastic. It is Elephantastic.
I mean, you yourself. Can I say a question? Actually, this is a possible question.
Okay. Should we sign it first?
We should sign it, but based on the Elephant Man question, obviously, we all know who directed the Elephant Man film.
Sure.
Don't
sure.
we? Yeah.
Parker. No.
David Lynch.
Lynch, of course. Yeah.
But do you know who one of the people that got that film made was? He's a very famous comedian. It was his production company that got it up and running. He may be an executive producer. I think he was even the producer of it. And he's an famous American comic actor. You wouldn't imagine this was the same guy who is also producing a very serious, sober film like The Elephant Man. All right, we want to know who was that man.
It's a bit hard for that.
Well, yeah, but I mean that'll separate the wheat from the chaff.
Have you seen anything else that's Elephantastic? Not even Welephant was Elephantastic. He was Welefantastic.
Rick, have you got any more memorabilia that you want to give to people? Maybe
get rid of.
Because I have to say, I've got
the council won't take it away.
I've got loads of junk in my house. I've got an old fridge freezer in the front garden. Anyone's welcome to come and pick that up anytime. I'll sign it for them.
But what about children climbing in it? That's not one of those with the handles, is it?
There's several children trapped in there at the moment. Yeah, but that's a sobering lesson.
You know
the local council who won't come and pick it up.
It's a problem though, isn't it? Because you can't just
smash it up. You're right.
No. I don't know what you're meant to do.
Well, listen, right, when I was growing up, I remember the council used to charge £5 or something to take away, like, cookers and fridges, so my dad used to bury them. Down the bottom of my garden, I don't know, there's a cooker, there's a fridge, there's a freezer of some sort, there's a dog and a couple of cats. They were dead.
I'm not saying my father's quite a mean man, as you know, but my dad used to do that with dead relatives.
Yeah, because those funeral parlours take the piss.
Very expensive.
So, a funeral can be, you know, up to 40 quid.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Whereas a shovel, borrowed off the bloke next door, that's a massive saving.
And not given back, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, he's going to go soon. What's he going to say?
Okay, to win Donutters, signed by Mr. Ricky Gervais and two other blokes you've never heard of. It's Elephantastic.
Yeah.
And the question is, what was the name of the famous comedian, American comedian?
Give out the number.
That produced, and had heavy production involvement in the film The Elephant Man. The email address is ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Carl, what's the phone number?
08700 800 1234.
Right, next up, we've had a lot of requests. Carl's popularity is growing. They want to hear his Super Mega Mix, the Britney Spears thing. Big it up.
Yeah, it's good.
No, tell us what it is.
Alright, it's Mark being Blade, the vocals of The Unknown over Britney Spears. Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Let's hear it. It's highly illegal.
We're fantastic.
Go on then, back announce it, Carl. It's yours. Go on.
That's Mark being Blade there with a bootleg.
And what's it called? You called it something, haven't you? You cleverly called it something. What did you call it?
Nick this record one more time.
Good. Very good.
Karl Pilkington there, breaking all kinds of copyright rules.
Now, coming up, we're going to be talking a little bit of Feng Shui. The art of moving things around so it's better.
The ancient oriental art of rearranging your living room.
Yeah, the ancient art of don't sit near a window.
Exactly.
Because you won't get any money for it. and we've got a book.
Well, we've been exploring Feng Shui for our own amusement.
Yeah, and we're going to be reading some great things.
This is just good. It's good, solid Feng Shui advice for us.
I mean, what do we need to know? I mean, just keep those questions coming to life. If you've got any question for Karl, don't forget that's an ongoing thing. Anything in the world, any question, personal problems, philosophies, online, it can be out of the. Just ask Karl if you want. Just ask Karl. Okay. All right, Karl, you're up for that, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you give your honest opinion, won't you? Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we give away donuters?
Oh, it's been won. Who's won it, Karl?
Scott Hammond.
Well done.
Well done, Scott.
He'll be loving that. He's probably going to have a party, especially to play donuters.
We've had a number of right answers, but I'm afraid Scott's the winner. And the question, of course, was which famous American comedian was heavily involved in the production of the film The Elephant Man? It was, of course, Mel Brooks.
Surprising.
And he's got a company called Brooks Films.
Our first person that called in, I think he was a bit confused. He said, "Is it testicles?"
Yeah.
When what? The producer went, testicles.
Yeah.
What was that illness years ago? Right, there was a couple of lads at our school.
Oh yeah.
Had really big heads
Right.
and webbed fingers.
And webbed fingers.
And
Sorry, wait. Was that? Hold on. Did you find him in a pond? Did they used to be little tadpoles?
no,
Karl, you're not
seriously.
confusing your past with an old episode of
No,
Doctor
no.
Who, are you?
What were they called? These two?
Oh, I didn't mix with them.
Right.
It was just like.
Of course not.
There was nobody thought anything of it at school. Cause
No,
it was like,
sure.
You used to it.
Yeah, it's the North.
There goes the creature from the Black Lagoon again.
yeah.
He is brilliant at trigonometry.
He's late for double maths.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think anything of
What
it.
is it called? What is the disease called where two fellas, are they
Not even related.
rubbish?
Not related.
Were you near a nuclear power station when you were growing up?
Yeah.
You weren't really?
Yeah.
God, this explains so much.
This has got
But
a
I
bit
don't
heavy.
think that's it.
Hey, talking of enormous heads,
Yeah.
you were at the Pop Idol final, weren't you, Rick? You went
Yeah.
down there just because obviously Rick's a huge fan of Pop Idol. He wanted to be there. He wanted to
Yeah.
give his support.
Quite seriously, there was no irony there. We were
Yeah, he
having a
genuinely
great
is a
time.
fan of it. And he was. You sort of had photos taken with various people,
Yeah,
didn't
of
you? Because
course.
you were a bit drunk and you wanted to have a
Yeah.
memento of it. There's obviously
Yeah.
a picture of you with Fat Man Rick Waller.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the best one is a picture of Ricky and his girlfriend with Dr. Fox.
Yeah.
Whose head
It's twice the size of mine.
of any other head. It's quite remarkable. I
He's
don't know how
like
they
a
make it-
barrel. He's a lovely bloke, and he was really nice to meet him and everything. But he looks like an immaculate tan, and he's always happy, and he's
It
just
looks
really
on the
good.
picture, it looks like someone you might see in a carnival who's built a huge papier-mâché head. And it's just we're like Frank Sidebottom, just sort of walking down the road. It's just incredible.
Dr. Fox didn't used to go to your school, did he? He used to hang around with a mate. They were great swimmers. They were brilliant swimmers. Oh, God.
Have we got another song lined up?
Yeah, what are we going to play?
Bit of Pharomonge.
Bit of who?
Pharomonge.
Let's hear it.
Faramunch, got ya. XFM 104.9. Well, as we promised, some Feng Shui. What do you want to know? Ratio of witness. It's one of those little books that you see at the sort of like the front desk of like Waterstones or Dillon's or one of those. And it's just, it's a little guide. It's, should I say what it is? I'm allowed,
may as
aren't I? Lillian Tu's little book of, Feng Shui. And, obviously you can't go into it in depth, but it's some little,
Just some little sort of nuggets, I suppose.
yeah,
isn't it?
ratio of windows. The ratio of windows to doors in your rooms should not exceed 3-1. Too many windows cause all your luck to seep away. Obviously. Hello! It is also better not to have windows on the wall opposite the door.
Is that the case in your place, Carl? Because you may need to brick that up when you get back later.
I always remember, I used to work nights.
Yeah.
Right. And it was when my brother just sort of got kicked out of the army.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad went away on holiday, so he was staying with us.
He's got to write a book, this bloke.
And,
You have got to write a book, Carl. Go
I
on.
came back,
Yeah.
and there was women everywhere. There's women in every bed in the house. I thought, where am I going to sleep?
Had he set up a brothel? What?
So no, it's just a bit of a one.
That's
so-
impressive, though. A girl in every single bed.
Oh,
I mean,
he was mad. So I slept on the sofa downstairs,
Mm.
and I didn't sleep that well.
yeah,
But I slept on it before when it was facing a different way,
sure.
and I had a good sleep.
So for you, that's
So-
proved the worth of Feng Shui.
Yeah, I think there's something in it.
Did you honestly think there's something in it, though?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, well, just read a few of the others, Rick.
Okay, well,
Just-
it's not big. I think most people know this one. Display the three-legged frog for luck. Look for a three-legged frog. You can buy one from any Chinese supermarket. And place it in the vicinity of your front door, facing inwards as if it has just come into the house. Don't place the frog facing the door! Please.
Oh, come on, people.
What
Think before you place your frog.
I mean, this really is... I mean, but...
What's the last page? Because that will be the most important one.
Do you reckon?
the last one, I
The wealth vase. Make a wealth vase and keep it hidden in your cupboard. It can be made of gold, crystal or glass. Can I just say something? If you've got a vase made of gold, you're probably alright for money anyway.
Yeah, sure.
But
this is the wealth vase. How do you make the wealth vase?
Fill it with semi-precious stones and with soil taken from a rich man's garden.
So just find the soil of a rich man. Take some soil from the...
This is like bury a piece of steak and the water will go.
Yes.
I have a tooth of frog. This is...
It's the one where with the gods. Can you find that one?
Oh, where's that one? Yeah.
What do you make of Feng Shui, Carl? Is it something you believe in?
Well, like I said, I didn't sleep well on the sofa when it was...
So for you, that's proof
So
positive.
yeah, you've got to get it right, haven't you?
I'd like Carl to read this out.
Okay.
Yeah, do you mind? Read it out. Just read it out loud.
Which one?
Yeah, the gods are here. Right, okay.
Just read that. That's such a good
Invite
bit.
the gods
Yeah,
of wealth into your home.
yeah,
The Chinese have several gods of wealth,
yeah.
which they display in their homes to attract... what? Prosperity.
Prosperity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My personal favourite is Chi Yi,
Yeah.
who sits on a tiger.
He sits on a tiger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
It's pretty difficult to find this fella.
Yep.
If you could use Kang Kung or the 3-star gods, oh no.
Read him out.
Read out the names of the star gods.
FUK.
Read it out.
no,
Just
he's
read
a
it out.
god.
It's a
He's a
Chinese
god.
god. You're
He's a
allowed to
Chinese
say
god.
Chinese god on the radio.
No.
You are allowed to say
Well, if you're allowed to
Chinese.
say it, you say it then.
Well, look. You're so immature.
Read the three of them out, Rick.
Okay. If he is difficult to find, you should use Quan Kung or the 3-star gods, Fuck, Luck and Sao, all of whom bring wealth and prosperity.
Then what were the names of the gods again? Because if I'm making a note at home, Rick,
Well, it's a Chinese god.
yeah, there's Quan Kun, or you can use Luk Sao.
You can't.
What? But it's a god. FUK. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I assume. I don't know if we're pronouncing it wrong. I really apologise.
Apologies if we're offending anyone who's of an Oriental persuasion. But that's Quan Kun or Luk Sao or Fuck. And any of those gods are available at a Chinese supermarket.
Near you.
Yeah. That's Feng Shui. It's an ancient art. You can't give me that look.
Clinic. Walking with thee. So that's Feng Shui.
That's Feng Shui sorted.
We've given away donutters. We've talked a little bit about band names today. With more insight into Carl's psyche. Now you during that record you said we knock everything. You saw something about the Bermuda Triangle, didn't you?
Yeah, when I talked about Ghost, you sort of just because you don't believe in it. I think it's because you're scared of it, to be honest, and you can't admit to understanding it and
Sure.
actually believing in it.
Sure.
Thing on last night, Steve.
Yes.
Bermuda Triangle.
Oh yeah.
Do you know much about that?
Mainly the song by what was his name?
What's his name?
Bermuda
Triangle,
Triangle, where people
No,
disappear.
no,
Bermuda
did-
Triangle.
What's his
don't
name?
go
No,
near.
Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the lyrics? Bermuda Triangle, where people disappear. Bermuda Triangle, don't go near.
Yeah.
I shouldn't really make a joke out of it.
No, you're right. Go on.
But what it is, right? There's a program saying what it's about. What do you know about it?
As I say, mainly from what Barry's told me, but certainly planes and various boats have gone missing within the Bermuda Triangle.
Planes.
Yeah, but obviously that documentary didn't explore
He
it.
learned a lot about that. I learned a lot about American history through "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel.
Again, most
So-
of my knowledge of the sort of Tsarist Russia comes from
Rasputin by Boney M.
Well, listen.
Yeah, he was the lover of the Russian queen.
They put some poison into his wine.
Yeah. They shot him till he was dead.
Yeah.
Which is, go on.
Right, well, this,
Oh, those
right?
Russians.
Sort of bit of an earthquake in the sea.
Sure.
Lets out methane gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
And apparently, if you were swimming out in the sea,
Yeah.
and there was like an earthquake and some methane came out,
Yes.
you can't swim in it, you just sink.
Okay.
Even if you're a good swimmer.
What happens if you're two lads from your school and they
Big heads.
Yeah, that's like a buoy.
Doesn't
So you can
work.
see them a mile off,
No.
and their webbed hands would get them into shore.
Because they did actually say even if you're wearing a life jacket, if the water's full of methane, right?
You just sink.
You just sink. So what it's saying is, boats have gone across the sea, got a load of methane in the sea, and the boat just sinks.
Right. What about the planes?
Is it them sort of planes with little sort of floaty things
Could
on?
be.
That'll be the sort they've landed in the sea.
Right.
And methane's coming.
Well, sorry, Carl. What did the documentary say? Not I imagine.
Yeah, your hypothesis might be one
Yeah.
thing.
What did they say on the
They
documentary?
didn't cover that bit. They didn't
cover the planes.
They didn't do the planes.
Something else they said about it though.
Go on.
Loch Ness, the monster,
Sure.
probably doesn't exist.
Okay.
What it is,
Interesting. Hold on. Interesting. Oh, interesting.
Is-
What they thought the Loch Ness probably didn't exist.
Curious viewpoint.
Hold on. What proof have they got for that, Carl? How can they go around saying stupid things like that?
it's methane,
Right.
Again, in Loch Ness.
and people have seen. What's the lake it's in?
Loch
Loch Ness.
Yeah.
It being the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it lives. That's how it finds its way home.
That's certainly the
You're
clue.
never gonna
Yeah,
learn.
Again, again, Carl, that's the clue.
Yeah, it's a clue. And if it's out wandering, it goes, excuse me, would you know where, I'm being the Loch Ness monster, where would I be going? Oh, you'd be going to the Loch Ness if that's your home. It's way over there, you
So
big
anyway,
monster, you.
So the bubbles from the
Sure.
methane bubble up out of the water.
Yeah.
People think, oh god, it's a monster's head. But it's not, it's just water sort of shooting up because of the bubbles.
Well, that's two of the great mysteries of the universe solved by Karl P on a Saturday afternoon.
That is
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So, that makes me think a lot of things. So you know when mediums are sort of like going, oh, I've got something coming through. Do you think they are exhaling a lot of methane gas? And thus making them not think straight? Do you think everything's down to methane gas? Do you think that all the mysteries of the universe are down to methane gas, Carl? What did it say in the documentary you saw?
About what?
What was the budgie happy? We know that budgie was sad. Was it in a room? Because they used to take canaries down the mines, didn't they? They used to take canaries down the mines, they'd smell the methane, and then the budgie would be happy.
I'm not going to teach you anymore.
Play a record.
The long
and
winding
Should we introduce this, shouldn't I?
Go on then.
Oh, it's Beatles, Long and Winding Road.
Smooth. Are we getting paid for this?
and winding road.
Our Freaks Electric, Richard X and the Sugar Babes on XFM 104.9. Well, nearly through. We've had a few laughs again, a
Yep.
few tears.
Absolutely, as always.
Few, excuse me, and don't be alarmed. I look quite frightening, but I'm merely a nice monster. I seem to have lost my way home. Could you direct me in the right direction?
Nice to meet you, yeah, Karl Pilkington.
Hi.
What's your name?
Why do you need to know my name?
Well, it might help me to find out where you come from.
Oh, my name's the Loch Ness Monster.
Okay, alright, give me a second. What was your name again?
Loch Ness Monster.
See, this is what I mean. When you came in, you're all over me. Like a rash.
Being nice to you.
Yeah. Gets towards the end, you get nasty.
It's the phone. Answer it. See who it is.
Can you give us a second, listeners? Just amuse yourselves for a moment. We're
Who
just
is it?
speaking to, Carl's just on the phone there, speaking to someone. We'll just, keep you abreast of who that is. Kind
is
of
it?
time. It's, 10 to 3.
wants to know if you're doing a live show somewhere tonight.
So, just a private call now, asking Ricky. if
I
he's
am,
performing
yeah.
later.
But
Ricky, of
I
course,
don't want to
has
say it
appeared
now.
recently on television.
I
David
don't mind
Brent
one person
in
now. I
the
don't want
Hits
to
It
get
from
out
the
on
office, and often performs live at different venues around the
Yeah.
country.
Okay.
So while those two take care of business, all right, guys, have you finished that private call?
That was a mess.
Jeez, that was outrageous. You know you're a fan of Feng Shui, Carl, and you believe it's all true. I just run this one past you just on the off chance.
Yeah.
Because it may be that you change your opinion slightly.
Yeah.
Feng Shui teaches you to use your environment wisely.
Sure.
If your land and the surrounding area is undulating, it's said to house auspicious dragons. When land is flat and featureless, the dragon is missing and the land is said to be less auspicious.
Excuse me, they call me the Brixton Dragon.
Sure.
I seem to have lost my way. I know it's South London somewhere, but could you help me find my home?
What's your name?
Well, they call me the Brixton Dragon.
Right, where are you from?
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Aye.
Oh, okay, man. So does that make you query it at all, the dragon?
I'm not into it that much.
Right,
I'm
sure.
just saying that if you have your head at one end of the bed rather than the other, it might make a difference to your night's sleep.
It's not so much Feng Shui though, is it, as sort of good advice? Generally. When you went
It's
home,
like, don't sleep on the end of a spike near a cliff.
Good
I mean that's good advice, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you went home and the house was full of women, why did you sleep on the sofa? Why did you not pop upstairs and sort of...
Into a warm bed.
Yeah, with a woman. Were they dressed, or... Is your brother still sort of have those kind of parties, or...?
I haven't seen him for years.
Sure. Where's he
really?
living now?
I don't know.
Okay.
What's his name?
Mark.
He's not known as like Moss Side Mark.
Because that could be a clue.
10 Dawlish Road Mark.
He's never out of prison long enough to get a nickname.
Hey,
Really?
steady on, it's getting a bit heavy, isn't it?
God. Is this what's motivated a lot of your anxiety?
Yeah.
Oh,
The hair loss, that sort of thing?
We always go a little bit too far, don't we?
They're a bit dark at the end of the show.
I know. Well, it's,
Oh.
well,
Do
sorry
a
about
request
that.
then for Pete.
Oh, Pete wanted a little bit of Muse. Yeah, if Pete wants it. I mean, I'm not a big fan. I don't mind Muse. I've still not got over them doing that, summertime song. What was it called?
Nina Simone cover, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, let's not bring the show down.
No.
Let's play Muse, and then we'll be
Pete
pretty
in
much
South
finished.
Kensington. Plug in, baby.
Let's enjoy it.
Chào mọi người, và đây bên em lại về một chiếc Hyundai Accent xe sản xuất 2018 số tự động, và rất tiếc khi con xe này thì cũng bị đâm vào hết phần cốp rồi. Nói chung là cốp thì phải làm lại hết đấy. Tuy nhiên là trước khi báo giá thì em sẽ quay tổng thể chiếc xe phiên bản màu đen. Accent là một chiếc dòng mà phân khúc hạng B, cạnh tranh trực tiếp với Vios hoặc là City. Tuy nhiên là Accent thì giá cả rất là phải chăng. Đấy, đèn một dải đèn nét rất là đẹp nhé, kèm theo đèn bi. Đấy, cho nhìn thì chúng ta có thể thấy rằng nhiều là tay nắm cửa mạ chrome này, nốp la răng còn tương đối, còn nâu ấy phải thay. Xi nhan thì tích hợp ở chân gương. Em sẽ quay rất là chi tiết thôi. Đây này, nó ăn tất vào thay hết cả hai cái đèn phụ, đâm vào hết phần đuôi mọi người nhé. Xe tải húc vào hết cái phần đuôi này luôn, phải làm lại hết. Vì vậy có một mức giá rất là phải chăng. Bạn nào nếu mà tại vì là khi vào phần đuôi thì không ảnh hưởng gì đến máy móc cả, vì vậy là nếu bạn nào mà không kiêng đen thì có thể mua những dòng này rất là hợp lý rồi. Đấy. Em quay rất là chi tiết cho mọi người xem. Tuy nhiên là nếu mà muốn xem cái phần mà bên em gò hàn đó, ở giữa phần đâm đụng thì các bạn phải đến trực tiếp xem xe, chứ quay qua như này thì không biết được. Vì ví dụ như chỗ này có một chỗ xước sơn này, như các bạn lên video các bạn đã không nhìn thấy đâu. Vì vậy là muốn xem gò hàn này các bạn phải xem trực tiếp. Nói mồm và quay video không giải quyết gì cả. Và bây giờ em quay phần nội thất cho mọi người xem. Đây, nội thất đây. Vô lăng đã được bọc rồi, cần số cũng được bọc, phanh tay cũng được bọc, DVD tích hợp kem nồi, điều hòa rét buốt và âm thanh loa trầm nghe rất là hay. Đấy, nói chung phân khúc hạng B thì cũng chỉ được như thế thôi. Và nội thất hàng ghế sau cũng rất là đẹp. Đấy, và lại còn điều hòa phía sau nữa cơ. Đấy, còn hơi bị chất luôn. Đấy, nói chung là mọi thứ của nó rất là đẹp. Accent. Đấy, vì vậy các bạn ai mua phải liên hệ sớm. Chứ nếu liên hệ muộn thì cũng hết đấy chứ. Và nói chung là vừa đến một chiếc xe như này thì bên em đang giá bán giá rất là phải chăng, 355 triệu. Đấy, kèm phí rút hồ sơ và sang tên nữa là tầm 5 triệu nữa là 360 triệu là có một chiếc xe để chúng ta đi rồi. Rất là phải chăng và hợp lý. Ai mua thì lại sớm với em nhé. Xe thì nhìn qua rất là đẹp, chẳng qua trời bẩn nên là không rửa thôi. Chứ nếu mà rửa thì xe này mới cứng các bạn nhé. Rất là đẹp ấy. 355 triệu cho một chiếc Ascend mà 2018 mà bản số tự động này thì em nghĩ hợp lý rồi. Ai mua thì liên hệ xuống với em, mà nếu mà bên em mà ghi phần bình luận đã bán thì sẽ không còn nữa đâu, còn nếu chưa nói gì là vẫn còn. Xin chào mọi người.
Merchant, and of course, Karl Pilkington. Ooh, have we got a show for you today?
What have we got planned? What have we got planned?
Come on. Loads of stuff, and 2 hours of it.
Right.
And all the
But
records.
specifically, what sort of stuff have you planned for us? Because I know you've been
What have
working
you done?
hard.
What have you done?
Because well, you know, I've been busy this week. I've been house hunting. I've been various things, but I know you've had the whole week off.
Right.
So what have you been up to? Like,
Go
you've
on,
planned the
Karl.
show?
Karl, tell them what we've got. Tell them what we've planned, all the stuff you've done.
What have you got?
But Rick, specifically, what have you come up with?
I've,
quick, because people are getting bored. Tell us what
Okay,
you've...
I've come
what
up with, the music.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously we've already planned that. We planned that last week, so that's all done. But what have you yourself contributed to today's show? I'm looking forward to it.
I got a text message today from Ross Noble. You know Ross Noble, the comedian, who's on. Have I got news for you?
Right.
He says, ask Karl if he woke up with ladies' boobs, would he just put a dress on and live as a lady, or would he just be a man but with these boobs?
Karl, it's a good question. I know that happened to Ross, so he's throwing that one out at you.
It did in a way, because he ate pizzas for a year, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
And he got a lovely pair of breasts.
Yeah.
Go on.
Probably
boobs.
just find a loose-fitting jumper, go to the doctor's.
What would you say to the doctor? How would you explain this phenomenon to the doctor? So you'd be happy with this because you believe in shite, like
No,
happening. Go on.
But
what?
it can happen, because I told you a couple of weeks ago how
What?
it can happen.
What
How you
hap-
can wake up with breasts if you're a fella. I told you.
Go on.
Haven't you remembered?
No, funny that, innit? Go on.
Have you, Steve?
No, I don't remember this. Did you tell us on air?
Yeah. It can happen if you go to Argentina and have a steak. You can wake up with breasts. Because
I'm
they-
sure I'd have remembered
Karl,
that.
pull the other one. Look, he likes that. He likes that.
Is that what you've come up with this week? That joke?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Play a record. It's going to be a dynamite show.
songs you want to be on.
Listen, look, I'm gonna play some classic tunes today. I'm gonna educate the youngsters, Steve. Right, now, you've all heard of Lou Reed, you've all heard of Velvet Underground, but, you know, have you heard of Venus in Furs, Karl?
Shiny, shiny, shiny boots of leather.
Venus in Furs, Velvet Underground. What a great start. What a classic
I mean,
song.
they continue to sound fresh and contemporary.
It's just, do you know what that song's about, Karl?
No.
M&S. M&S.
It's about M&S.
You know that?
Yeah.
You know the shop?
Yeah.
It's all about that.
Yeah.
Whiplash, Smile and all that, all the things you can get at Marks and Spencer's.
Shiny boots of leather.
Yeah. Being whipped.
Yeah. I think that's a new division they've opened.
Yeah, but we have got a great show lined up, haven't
Have we? No, go on.
No, we have. No, because we've got, Rockbusters coming up, the great new
looking
quiz.
forward to that.
That's made the press.
Has it?
Yeah. Frimley Tea Room's newsletter mentioned it. We've also got,
That's Karl's local, isn't it?
yeah, we've also got, Educating Ricky, where Karl educates me. The one last week, a girl, right? She was deaf, and she was having an argument with her mum, and she pushed her and she hit her head, and then she can hear again.
Yeah.
Don't know what I learnt from that.
No.
But it might be subliminal, something might be going, it might be a metaphor that I will learn from.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
a parable.
Yeah, so, look at his face. We
So,
might as well be talking Dutch, mightn't we, Karl? Say something quick, it's radio.
I don't understand what you want from me.
Oh, we're only joking.
Right? So, educating Ricky, I've worked a bit harder this week. We've got some good stuff.
Okay.
I'll give you the
teaser headlines later.
headlines in a bit.
Yeah.
So you've got Rockbusters as well.
Karl's having a bit of a stressful week because he thinks he's not appreciated because he gets in at what time do you get in? About 8 or 9, don't you?
I've been busy this week. I've been in at about 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and you've been leaving when?
About 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you're in Saturday.
Yeah, I'm in now.
You get paid, don't you?
I'm busy at home at
A
the
lot of
moment.
people work late, Karl. A lot of people work 12-hour days.
Why are you busy at home, Karl? What are you up to?
Because we're trying to sort out a move.
Uh-huh.
I've been trying to call round this morning to get someone to buy a futon on a table from me.
Yes. Well, we could put that appeal out now, couldn't we? If anyone wants to buy a futon or a table.
Just think, a futon that Karl Pilkington slept on.
How much you asking?
Whatever.
Well, you need
for
to
the
be
two. You've got to take the two. I don't want like different people coming round and that.
Sure, wasting
You've
your
got to
time.
buy a futon on a table.
It's quite specific, isn't it? Someone has to want a futon.
Yeah.
The specific futon you're
It's
selling
like
and
a
the
tea's
table.
made, isn't it? Alarm clock and tea maker. This is futon and table.
Yeah.
Looking for about 100 quid.
And it's good condition, the futon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, no
You've not
stains,
dribbled on
or
it?
you haven't pissed
No.
yourself in the, no.
No,
right.
nothing? And what kind of table, what sort of table is it? Are we talking? Are we talking like a table for a lounge, a dining table?
No, for like a computer and just you know something.
Has it got any drawers? Are there any drawers? There's no
No,
drawers.
it's just a nice wooden table.
Right, is it kind of
solid.
oak or is it sort of an IKEA sort of thing?
No, it's like oakish.
It's oakish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 100 quid.
The futon is just, it was just the mattress and the pallets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but it's
right.
not. You see, you get cheap futons, don't
This
you?
is
But
a good one,
this
is
is
it?
a good one. It's
How much would
sturdy.
that retail for when you purchased
I think
it?
I paid about $2.50 for
Right,
it.
so it's a bargain
Well,
for people.
if you look at it, if you
And how long have you had it? How old
This
is
is
it?
a whole new strand.
Well,
isn't
I'm
it?
thinking
I
this
don't
is a
think it's
great-
legal. I don't think we should
I'll
use.
tell you what I'm interested in Rick. It's just finding out a little bit about the sort of thing that Carl's got in his home, you know.
I'm interested in if people will phone up to spend £100 just to go round
Carl's house,
no,
yeah.
no, I won't be. No.
What?
No, they'll come here. I'll bring it to work, and they can pick it up here. Don't
I'm going to
Okay.
bring a,
Well, they can meet you.
futon and a table to work. Don't you ride a bike
So hold
to
on,
work?
we need someone with a van now.
Yeah.
So we need. Is anyone who wants to? But they're not allowed around your house. Can they meet you next door? Someone with a van. Will
Could they meet you in your street somewhere?
Hold on, could they meet
What
you?
if
With
you-
hold on, what about the little Chinese fella that lives across the road on the two bouncers and the old woman who's dead reading a book? Could you meet him somewhere?
I've got an idea. What about if you meet at the end of your street, you blindfold them, like they do when terrorists take the negotiator to the the hideout,
the big cheese.
and so you could do that, and so you know they could piece together maybe where you live
With
from the sounds and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But what about that, Carl? That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And would you sign the futon for people? Do you think? Would you give them a little signature, or maybe at least a
Sign
bill
the
of
pallet,
purchase?
couldn't you? You could sign the pallet.
Yeah. Or I could try and get work to buy it off me, and then we give it away for Rockbusters.
Do you think they do that? Do you think they do that? I think they'd probably do it for Foxy with his big.
Well, imagine
hog.
how big that would
Imagine
be.
if he wanted to sell his hog.
Yeah. That is a motorbike, isn't it?
yeah. He's been selling his hog for money for years,
Yeah.
hasn't he? Oh dear.
So
Right.
well, we'll see about that. See
So,
we get any
if
interest.
people are interested, maybe email, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you're interested in a futon.
By Carl's
and-
futon
and a
competition, £100 ONO.
Exactly.
Yeah? Yeah?
What gear have we got anyway?
I never knew what that meant. Oh, I know. I thought it went sort of
Oh,
on
no.
the nose.
On the
nose.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good, yeah. Well, tell them what we got to give away, Steve.
So
quick.
actually, I have to say, you've excelled yourself
We've got
this
the
week.
Richard Ashcroft's single coming up soon after this. Go on.
Since when have you taken to talking like that? It does amuse me.
Go on.
This is a nice little collection here. This is a 3 DVD set. David Attenborough's, The Life of Birds, Trials of Life, and Life in the Freezer.
That's a good one, isn't it?
That's a selection of, animal-based documentaries.
Yeah.
We've got, and this
What
actually
he's best at.
Well, absolutely. This
I hate
is
when he goes off the ball and does, like, fast cars.
This is, very, very good indeed. This is a best of David Bowie compilation.
It is a very good,
Just,
it's a
in
proper
time for
one,
Christmas.
not the rubbish ones that no one else wanted. This is a brilliant
Yeah, it's got
compilation of
excellent
Bowie.
selection on there. We've got this. Now, this looks like a Madness. Oh, no. It's far worse than we could possibly have imagined. It seems to be some kind
Is it Our
of
House
tie-in with the Our House Madness musical.
And it's got
I can't-
a cast of 20 people who wanted to be singers.
It's tricky to find out. I can't figure out if it's the originals or not, but needless to say, if you're a Madness fan, I'm sure that'd be an absolute
Yeah, you love
treat.
that, you love that, you love that.
Now, I know that,
Steve, I wouldn't mind that DVD collection myself, but I can't.
That's
It's
true
the
enough.
giveaways that, no, we can't.
I'm talking of great compilations. What about this? It's Country Legends. I'm
Oh,
seeing
that's
on the front
all
there
right.
Glenn Campbell, we've got Dolly Parton, we've got, whatchamacallit? On the car, on the front.
Whatchamacallit?
He's a
From-
great performer.
Yeah.
Jake, whatchamacallit.
Oh,
Some
excellent.
great
yeah.
hits from him. So, that's there as
well,
well.
that-
Country
what a
Legends.
collection.
That's, same XFM compilation, again, easy to get hold of if
But
you
the
are
big
in
one, the
building.
big one, the film that Carl
This is
picks
it.
every week, the big
DVD
one.
movie this week.
Don't go out tonight if you've got a DVD player and a television set, because
No.
you'll be staying in and watching this fantastic film.
It will tear your soul apart. It's Hellraiser. The original Hellraiser. Bear in mind, it has been on Channel 4 and Channel 5 and on most cable channels since it came out. But if you haven't seen it, if you're one of the only people who has not seen it, and of course you have to be over 18 to play, then you can win Hellraiser.
That is fantastic. Well, play a song, Carl. We'll come back to that. More great stuff.
Indeed. The competition coming up later. Email only, isn't it, Carl?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Futon.
Futon's still available.
Richard Ashcroft. Check the meaning. Well, Carl, you're chuffed, aren't you? What's
alright,
happened? What's just happened? Tell the listeners what's
This
happened.
has sparked you up a bit.
Steve's just called up. He's putting an offer for the futon and the table.
Yeah.
I think he definitely wanted it, but I said, look, think about it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Give
Well,
us
you're
a
not a
call.
hustler.
No, well, I'm not going to rush him into it, because once he's got it, he can't bring it back. I'm not messing about.
No.
So the bloke said, what sort of wood is it? Carl said, sort of like a light brown colour. He went, what, beach coloured? Carl went, depends what beach you're on. Which was nice.
You do understand there's a wood that's called beach.
Well, he's happy. He likes the sound of it. Nice plum cover. He's gonna be,
Yeah. Is Carl going, that'll go with Magnolia, you walls made it, he's just going, I'll tell you what, looked nice in your spare bedroom. It was like an episode of Changing Rooms. It was like listening to an episode of Carl.
He did the deal in under 3 minutes, wasn't it?
It was pretty good, didn't he?
He phoned it about halfway through in that song, so you worked pretty quick, Carl, I gotta say. It's your Manx scally way.
I'm sure we're not allowed to do this, though.
No, I think it's highly criminal.
Yeah.
Have you got anything? Are you getting
Well, I'll tell you, I am moving shortly, so I mean, I might come in next week. I could have a couple of
I
drinks,
threw away a desk the other day.
I gotta get rid of a bed, a chair, because you know I'm pretty tall. This is so pathetic. When I moved up to London, my dad said, well, you want to be careful, because I mean, the seating in a lot of these London pads, it's bad seating, very low backs, fashionable, isn't it? Fashionable chairs and stuff. You're a big guy, 6'7", you need like a decent chair. We went to a shop, it was like a second-hand furniture shop, right? I bought this chair, very high backed.
Why did you buy that? For a solo, I love that.
It was just a chair, so I could sit in my room and watch TV.
But was it a soft chair, or was it a wooden chair?
It was kind of like a sort of, well, let me explain, because it's kind of like an armchair, but it's kind of got wooden arms. So I get this chair, I bring it up to London, I'm thinking, this is a great chair, this is a wonderful chair. I'm gonna be watching TV, everyone else is going in agony. You know, but I got this lovely chair, right? And I brought it up, and someone went, they looked at it, they went, isn't that an orthopaedic chair? And I looked at it again, right, and I realised it's kind of white cleanable. It's made of some kind of fabric that allows you to just mop it down with a wet cloth.
Why?
Because I think it came from an old people's home.
Oh.
You know when you see, like, old people in some kind of social room in an old people's home, just sat watching a little crappy old TV, and you can wipe everything clean. It's one of those chairs.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So if anyone's, maybe they've got an elderly
Didn't you
relative.
keep slipping off?
Just goes like, and it's also the most uncomfortable chair I've ever, because unless you've got chronic back pain, it's just the most uncomfortable chair. It makes you sit bolt upright, if not slightly forward.
You've done a good sell on it. I think, either the phones are going mental.
Well,
how much do you want for that, Steve?
If you've had a recent accident, or you've got a disabled, or someone in the house who's just, elderly, then you might want to get in touch. I'm happy to, you can take that off, man, for 25 quid.
This is so wrong.
25 quid, I'll take that. Maybe you're setting up an old people's home, you know, it's a little pet project.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of grant. We can help.
Exactly.
We can I mean, because though Steve's such a high flyer, I mean, if it really is a good cause, they just give it to you.
Well, let's not rush into anything, really. I like to assess each case, you know, individually.
Yeah.
But certainly if you are a charity, then I might go for 20 quid. You take it off my hands for 20 quid. But otherwise 25, and I tell you, it's in good condition, because I haven't really sat on it.
5 quid off if you really are.
You know, and there were some stains, I've wiped them clean.
Oh dear. Well, that's fantastic. So we've
I'll tell you what we should resuscitate next week, Swap Shop. The multicoloured Swap Shop.
Honestly,
it's a great format.
But there's a couple of things I've always wanted to get back at. Swap Shop is one of them, and the other one is Superstars.
I don't remember Superstars.
Superstars was great, because it was like the people of their time. So you'd have like people like nowadays, you'd have Beckham and what's his name? Who's the tennis player?
Rosetsky.
Yeah, Rosetsky, and they have to compete, so all these people have to compete at each other's sports, and they have to choose 7 out of 10 sports. And there's a leaderboard, and there's a big final. Oh, Keegan came off his bike.
It's
Brian
not
Jacks
like
always used to win it. No, it's real sports.
It's
proper sports. It's 100 metres, tennis, weightlifting, all the real sports that you can't do your own sport.
Well, I know you're a pretty big guy now in British TV. You're a bit of a big shot. What do you reckon? Pull some strings?
Let's get it back on there.
Superstars. Superstars, sounds fantastic.
Me, Johnny Vegas, Peter Kay. For the bigger fella, I think, maybe. The comedy superstars. What we got next? We've got a bit of Springsteen, haven't we?
Let's play Springsteen. This is a track from his current album, The Rising. A lot of people think Bruce is a bit MOR, a bit middle of the road or whatever, but, you know, I just think, piss off.
Yeah.
I just think, screw you,
I just think, get lost, you. Yeah. Imagine this, you're open top caddy.
Yeah,
you're just going around
country.
Route 66. You're going home maybe for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
To see your folks. Just turn up the radio if you are.
Play the tune.
Probably not, though.
That just reminded me when I brought so stop it for a second. Just realised when I brought a woman back and she saw the orthopaedic chair. You bring a woman back to your pad. Oh, it's embarrassing.
And the harness.
Yeah.
And,
exactly, the truss.
Yeah, and can you give me those 2 splints? I'm sorry? Those 2 splints there. Well, I've got to go. Have you?
Is this a potty under the bed? The Rising, title track from Bruce Springsteen's current album,
Great
The Rising.
track.
Yeah, it's good tune.
Great. It's that feeling of, it's melancholy and uplifting. We've had quite an interactive show so far, because we've got a call that Superstars is coming back. It's due to come back in the BBC schedules, which is great news. Apparently Steve Redgrave is one of them. I just don't think, will professional footballers be allowed to take part these days, though? When they're on 50 grand a week, you can't really have them falling off bikes and their ankles, can you?
Ian McCaskill last night.
Yeah, on Celebrity Fit Club, yeah.
Ian McCaskill.
Oh, he fell off his bike about 3 times, didn't he? Oh, did you see Celebrity Fit Club?
No, I haven't seen it.
There was a great moment where they had to go into a thing called a bod pod, and you sit in it, and it's quite space age, and it analyses you, and it tells you percentage body fat. Now, I think, men are meant to be about sort of, 15 to 25% body fat, women are meant to be like about 20 to 30 body fat. And they all went in there, and, it went in there and it said, Ian McCaskill, and it came up, 34% body fat or whatever. Slightly overweight. I'm gonna come to the 38% overweight. Then it went, the other one, 45% body fat, obese. Then it went, Jono.
Did it say, I don't want to tell you?
Yeah. And then it went, 50% body fat, very obese. Then Rick Waller was sat in there, and it came up 60% body fat. And I wanted it to come up slug.
Oh, God.
But it came up more, but it's 60 fat.
So 60% of him is fat?
Yeah. 60% of his entire makeup.
That's extraordinary.
It is,
well, you know my feelings about Waller.
Well, let's get on to it.
Well, that's the reason I don't watch the show, actually.
I do feel a bit sorry for him, and he is, I think he is trying, although the fella there, thinks he's not trying. So I don't know who to believe, Steve.
Sure. Yeah,
I don't know who to believe Waller, and he does get pains in that, and he is a bit...
The problem is, right, he does like his food.
Yeah, we all like our food.
But if he didn't do the exercise, he wouldn't be as hungry, and he might not get fat.
This is a whole new nutritional outlook.
Absolutely.
So you're saying, don't exercise and carry on eating, and that's interesting. Let me write that one down. I will send that to the British
Nutritional Organisation.
Yeah, no, that's good. Karl Pilkington. Okay, well, no, it's a good...
I'm no doctor or anything.
Whoa, come off it. Stop being so bloody modest.
Please.
You are a doctor. You're not a doctor, seriously. You didn't qualify. That's interesting.
You dropped out early, or?
That's mad. That is mad.
I mean, you're as good as doctor, you just didn't get the paperwork or whatever. You just didn't turn up for the exam.
He was just saying that Bruce brings him, depressed him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it reminds him of when he worked in the supermarket. And, I said, it's funny how a song can do that, take you right back there. He went, yeah, nothing else can do that. I said, well, actually, smell is the most evocative sense, because smell is linked to memory in the brain. And he went, yeah, they probably said that before music, though. And now all science are going, we better revisit this, because there's music now. Yeah. We've had this theory knocking around for, 10,000.
I went to see Bruce, you'll be pleased to know. I just want the fans of the show to know that I did make it to Bruce Springsteen's concert last week. And, he started with that song we just played, and it was dynamite. I mean, he never let up. Almost 3 hours, he rocked the joint. He's 53, he was sliding across, it was pure rock and roll. Pumping our fist, sliding across the floor on his knees, he was jumping on the piano. It was real Jerry Lee Lewis rock and roll. And, it was dynamite. And, I just was looking around though, and when I am the trendiest person at a gig...
Oh dear.
Then I'm in trouble, do you know what I mean? And there was some of the people there, I imagined, on Amazon.com, it says like, people who bought X also bought Y.
Yeah.
And I think people who bought tickets for Bruce probably bought tickets for Mark Knopfler.
Yeah,
Dave Gilmour.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd, without Pink Floyd.
But
Stevie Nicks.
But there's also, all the Monsters Rock, they probably buy Stones when they visit,
Yeah,
and probably Tina Turner.
It's the blue wash jeans.
Yeah.
It's the small waistcoats. Over a denim shirt.
Plaid shirt, maybe sort of like Timberlands. Nothing wrong with Timberlands, that's libelous.
Sure.
No.
Sure.
See, I've done it again.
Yeah. But so it was hell getting out. I couldn't find, I went to the Tube, and it was a nightmare, because some of the tubes weren't running. I just said to my friend, sod this, stormed off, trying to find a cab, couldn't find a cab, wandering around Wembley, just livid. I mean, fuming, because I couldn't find a cab. I was screaming, because I was going, I've got money, I'm on the radio, I've had a TV show, I've got the cash, I'm willing to spend it, there's no one who can help me get home. And I was thinking,
I've seen him shout this in Brewer Street.
Yeah.
Just to stand in the middle. Go on.
And I was thinking to myself, what would you have done there? Because in the end, I just sat in a little cafe, had something to eat. But you, I mean, if you couldn't get a cab, what would you have done? Just because there's a couple of, there's a couple of hotels near Wembley. I was thinking you'd have just checked in.
Yeah, and just
and stayed till the morning.
Yeah, when there's a cab, let me know.
I was thinking, because you were thinking of going, would you have booked a cab beforehand?
Yeah.
Would you have thought to do that?
Yeah, I'd have got a cab there and I'd have booked a cab somewhere.
the helicopters just took you back home?
Yeah.
Oh, he's having a dig, isn't he?
He's having a laugh, isn't he?
Blimey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play the ads.
Death in Vegas. Scorpio Rising.
Featuring the voice of, is it Noel Gallagher?
Liam, innit?
Is it Liam?
Sounded a bit like him.
Liam, yeah.
Yeah.
It's alright, isn't it?
Excellent, yeah. Right, okay, let's get this show well and truly on the road. We better start, educating Ricky next, Carl? What have you got for me? I can't wait for learning. I need learning. I need education.
We should just
Teach
explain,
me something.
obviously, for those that have just tuned in, Carl, tries to teach Ricky 3 things each week.
Based on the pun title,
and yeah,
educating Rita.
each of them, just to tantalise Ricky, is, abbreviated into some kind of headline.
A cryptic clue involving a pun.
So what have you got for us this week?
They are really cryptic this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
First story, little headline, is, don't worry about him, he can handle it.
He can handle it.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit like he can handle it, but it's not. Brilliant.
Second one.
Get a lobe of
I'm
Get a lobe of this.
It's a classic. So you can forget. Get a lobe of this.
Yeah. Coming soon.
And Stocking Aitken Waterman. Go on.
Second one.
Yeah.
I'm committed to this treatment.
I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah.
Alright, tantalising.
Yeah. And the last one, the police are causing a bit of a stare.
The way he looks when he says it. I wish we could say, can't we get Carl on telly?
There's got to be a way.
We cannot. With all the cable channels, anyone can get on telly these days. Let's phone up. Let's get you on Choice or something. Just Carl.
What are you going for?
Oh, he can handle it, I think.
Don't worry about him. He can handle it.
He can handle it. Okay, let's hear this one.
Right, are you familiar with the phrase burning the candle at both ends?
Yeah.
Do you know how it's come about?
I know a man who does.
I assumed that it was to get more light in the room.
How would that work?
Well, they'd put it sideways and light both wicks, so out of one candle they could get two. No, go on.
No, what it is...
I know what it means. It means you're doing too much, you're staying up too much, you're not getting enough sleep, and you're...
Well, years ago...
Yeah.
When they didn't have light bulbs and that.
Oh yeah, what year is this? Literally ages ago, specifically.
Yeah, quite a bit back.
Okay.
Didn't have light bulbs and that, so they used to have candles in
When did the light bulb come in? Because I can't remember at the moment.
Don't know.
Okay, go on.
So, yeah, so they've got a light bulb.
You wouldn't know, you're a doctor, you're not a historian, go on.
And people who worked a lot of hours, yeah.
How many? Literally lots?
They get up early in the morning because they have to be up early.
Yeah.
And it's dark outside, so they light the candle.
Sure.
And they'd wear it out a bit. And then they'd be getting in late as well.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, it's dark, I'll have to light the candle again. And they're burning candle at both ends of the day. So that's where the saying comes from, burning the candle at both ends. So.
Alright.
That's a little lesson.
Yeah.
Lesson one.
Okay. Can I have...
No, you can't have
You can't rush
yet.
into them, Rick. You've got to...
I've got to soak in that.
You've got to soak that one in. Any questions for Carl off the back of that?
What do you think?
So people were, I mean, basically where this comes from is people were...
They're literally burning the candle at both ends of the day.
Sure.
There you go. So we've still got...
Go on.
I'm committed to this treatment. And
I can't wait. This is like Christmas Eve for me. It's like Christmas. I've got to open another present now.
No, I'm afraid we've got to save it. Rick, listen, we often get a lot of email correspondence during the show, Rick, which I don't sort of pass on to you because, I mean, you're busy, you're planning the show and stuff, you've got a lot of ideas, you've got music and stuff to worry about. So I check the emails, and we get a lot of response, a lot of people obviously, want to give us feedback. Just a sample one, from Richard Anderson. He's just emailed us in here, Rick, because he's been listening to the show. He says, Ricky, your show is appalling. Are you actually aware you're on the radio, or has someone just secretly stuck a microphone on you? That's from Richard Anderson. So that's typical of the kind of feedback, Rick, we're getting today. So,
is that good, is it?
So that's the kind of, high positive praise that we're getting. So,
I'm glad Anderson's listening, because I wanted him
Yeah, no, I mean,
I was gunning for him as a fan.
I was worried that
early on in our career. So
absolutely, but,
I think he's hooked now, though.
But thanks, Anders, for getting in touch. Good work.
He's sitting through it for Hellraiser, though, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that's still to come.
Still to come. Still to come. What we playing?
A bit of old dirty I can't say the word. It's offensive. Old
Is it
ODB.
bollocks? Is it old dirty bollocks?
No.
What is it?
Old dirty.
Old dirty big cock. What is it?
I can't tell you. It's offensive.
Breaks up.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny word, isn't it?
It's weird.
Funny word.
What other funny words are there,
Although
Carl?
XFM's a funny word, I just say the letters out because the word doesn't make sense.
Just let me just check Richard Anderson's email again. Just remind myself of.
Go on.
Ricky, your show is appalling. Richard Anderson, thanks. What I like about Dickie Anders is that he's obviously so angry, he's so annoyed by the show that he's bothered to email just to get the venom out. Because otherwise you just think you'd switch over. Well, he's obviously so annoyed. He
knows how to hurt someone as well.
Exactly. He's really taken the time out to show his disapproval.
Of giving up.
I'll tell you what, though, it is pretty hard to listen to.
What, this?
Yeah.
I've listened back to the tape that when you're making that thing for the best of.
Yeah.
And I mean, I sounded like Albert's Taplock. I really sounded like some sort of punch-drunk stroke victim. And oh, there you go. I was gonna say, I don't remember myself like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do apologise. It's not a great planned show, slick word of articulate sentence, is it? But I mean, then, who is?
But I think, there's so many shows that are, nowadays on radio. I think there's a lot of stuff that's heavily formatted, and there's with, I don't know, presenters who are professional and have got some sort of degree of talent.
Yeah.
And an ability to sort of string a sentence together. I'm thinking Chris Moyles.
Yeah.
Predominantly.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm bored with those slick people.
Exactly.
I think we need a little bit of Carl in our life.
I'm just thinking, actually, I've just suddenly struck me. If you want to get rid of your furniture.
Got a buyer.
You've already got a buyer.
Got a buyer.
Because if there's any other stuff, we were clearing some stuff out of our place recently, and we just dumped some stuff outside on the street, because we were going to take it and take it to the tip later. Just dump some stuff outside. And I have never seen so many people come out of the woodwork scavenging through our garbage. It was incredible. They were like zombies.
Well, that's what I was saying.
They were like flies around shit.
But when I said to Carl,
that's what you should just do. Just dump it outside, because it'll get taken.
When he went, he said, do you think I asked enough, 100? I went, yes, definitely. He went, oh, I could ask what? I said, no, don't do that. I said, because you'll end up having to pay the council to take it away. He said, I wouldn't. He said, I'd rather just dump it and let a little homeless fella have it. And then he went, imagine the little homeless fella sitting at the desk.
Can you imagine, right, I walk past, he's sat outside Hearts, right, the little 24-hour shop. He's sat outside there and he goes, have you got any change? And I go, I can do better than that.
Yeah, here's a chair and table.
Here's a futon.
Yeah.
A futon, no less. Not your boring bed, but a trendy... Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, amazing the number of people that would stop to look at our junk. There was a car driving by with a family and kids, perfectly respectable, just driving past, on their way to somewhere, stopped, got out, got the kids out of the car, come on kids, let's just look through this junk. But I like the idea
You said we were going to Alton Towers, Dad.
No, sorry, no time. We're not going to the zoo, let's look through this rubbish.
We're not going looking through people's rubbish
Put his gloves on, look through this shit.
Ow! That's a needle!
That's a needle. It was, who does that? It was like a Saturday afternoon. Kids were just gonna go and look through some rubbish. And one guy, this is the most incredible one, I caught him going through the bins as I came in. I said, alright, what are you doing? He was one of those homeless guys who likes to remain dignified.
Why did you say, what are you doing?
Well, because it was my house. I had to go I had to squeeze past him.
He wasn't in your kitchen.
He was in our front garden.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, going through rubbish. He torn the bags open. He was going through it. I said to him, what are you up to? He went, oh yeah, just looking at the stuff. Don't worry, I'll clean it all up afterwards. Just looking for a few odds and ends, blah, 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 blah. I said, oh well, you can take what you want. It's all going away. Yeah, thanks very much, thanks. Yeah. So he went off, right? I didn't think anything of it. I was walking past the shops the following day. There's a little sort of, kind of 7-Eleven, right? I was walking past. I thought, oh, that's interesting. A Gil Scott Heron album for sale. And I looked, I thought, wait a minute. This is all our rubbish. And the guy had set up like a little car boot sale outside the 7-Eleven on the pavement. He'd taken our junk, he'd marked on prices. There's like an old RAC book from 1976 that had been lying in the house, a Yellow Pages, and he'd marked up the
prices.
How much
is Yellow Pages?
So I'm glad you asked.
What year was that
50p, I snapped it up. I thought that's a bargain. And, it was incredible. He had the cheek of just selling our junk outside.
Enterprise, Carl. You did that. What did you used to do? You didn't used to sell flowers?
I sold flowers. I sold fizzy drinks at school.
Did you?
Yeah.
What that you made?
It was Soda Stream, yeah. Made some,
Well, of course, when you were doing your Pilkies making music, your disco,
yeah.
you used to go into Mum's bedroom and find a pair of tights and a cigar.
they'd be prizes. What else
Did
have
your
I done?
dad used to smoke cigars in tights, or your mum? No, which one of them used to... Go on.
Right, look, let's,
Yeah, we're educating Ricky.
no. We'll tease him that. Rockbusters.
Well, I think we should play a tune and come back with Rockbusters. so
Oh, the
everyone's
show's
looking forward
fallen
to it.
down, and we were going so well, and it's just the energy, isn't it? The first hour we got through.
I'm still in good spirits.
Is this still good, is it, this
I'm
show?
enjoying it, yeah.
Yeah?
Having a good
It's
time.
still good, is it?
Let me just check, just check what Richard Anderson thinks of it.
Good evening, man, again.
No, he thinks it's appalling. The Dixter thinks it's appalling, so we should play a tune, because he prefers the music.
Bit of Aqualung.
Aqualung.
Rockbusters next.
I like that, that's great, isn't it?
Not bad.
Aqualung. Good time's gonna come. Well, Carl, we've got loads of ideas. We've got emails coming left, right and centre. I think you've caused quite a stir. I think you've turned this show around, to be honest. I'm being, honestly. Yeah, no, you've done really well. You're actually acting a bit like a producer, isn't he? And, you're coming through in your own right.
Yeah.
We've had a great suggestion,
We've had a great email here. Let me just check.
Listen to this, Carl.
Let me just check.
Listen to this.
This is from Jeff Dunn. He's a big fan of the show, and he's just had a genius idea. He's saying, "You're moving house, Carl. Why don't Ricky and I come round? We can do a live outside broadcast from your flat.
It's
we can
genius.
observe from your kitchen those weirdos that live opposite.
Yeah.
We can maybe just wander around, just see the kind of place that you've got. You know, maybe check out your record collection, your clothes, what you got in the bathroom.
It'd be amazing.
Your futon.
It'd be like Louis Theroux. Wouldn't it? We'd be Louis Theroux.
Come on, Carl. This is a dynamite idea.
Nah.
Why?
I don't want you coming around making a mess and that.
We won't
won't make a mess. We won't
make a
we'll take our
with?
shoes off.
When have I ever made a mess in the studio?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
No, but do you know what I mean?
We're not going to make a mess. What? We're not going to have anything with us.
But what's in it for anyone?
Well, it's just a fascinating insight into you.
Yeah, but, right, when I see that little Chinese kid across the road who's dancing about in his underpants,
Yeah.
that's in the evening,
Yeah.
right? He's not gonna be doing that on a Saturday. So you'll be disappointed there.
Sure.
That old woman...
But you could at least show us the room in
he's
which
not
he
really-
dances.
Yeah, when you say little Chinese kid, he's a 35-year-old man, isn't he?
Yeah, well...
Yeah, you don't...
About 28.
Yeah.
That's
But anyway, that's beside the point. You know, we'll find our own amusement.
No, I don't... And the woman downstairs has got a baby, and if we make loads of noise, and that gets
We're not
stressed
going to
out...
make noise, are we? We're just going to have a conversation in your flat. Have a cup of tea.
Yeah, but if we're doing OB, we need to get, like, a car outside with a big aerial on it, and
Well,
the
that's fine,
parking's
that's not a
bad round our way.
What do you mean you have to do what do you mean?
To do an outside broadcast.
Can't they put in an ISDN line just for the
No,
dance?
no, because I'll make a mess of the wall, and I won't get my deposit back. So, we'll leave that. Thanks for the idea.
You know he's going around painting all the little holes, to get his deposit back in the wall. He wants to get his deposit back. It's probably cost him about 400 quid redecorating.
Let's remind people, Carl, of the prizes for Rockbusters this week. It's dynamite stuff. We've got the David Attenborough DVD Nature Collection. We've got a number of CDs, the best of David Bowie. We've got a Madness CD, not quite sure whether that's songs from the musical or their original tunes. Country Legends, 2 CDs there of great country music.
Brilliant.
And the remix to XFM compilation. Plus, of course, the big movie prize this week. Hellraiser! If you haven't seen it already, then I assume you have never seen a film before. Because I don't know if there's anyone who hasn't seen Hellraiser. But obviously you have to be above 18 to join, to play the competition.
Come on then.
So,
How long would you want to be around for? Is this just for the...
just for the show. Couple of hours.
2 hours. You just get the desk in there. A live OB.
We could check out the futon, we could sing its
check
praises.
the fault in, right? Yeah. Oh, you might have sold that by
In fact,
now.
we could have someone come round and buy it live on air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think about it.
Think about it. Think about it.
Great. great idea.
What's,
How did Graceland start? 'Cause that was... that was his normal house, and then he took over. Right, anyway, Rockbusters.
Yeah, go on then.
I give a cryptic clue,
Yeah.
and a letter, and it makes up a band,
He
right?
never said the word cryptic a few months ago. I love it. Do you know what I mean? I feel it's like our own little Eliza Doolittle.
yes.
Right, even Richard will like this one. Here we go then, first one, there's 3 of them,
go on.
and you email in.
If this doesn't turn Dickie round, nothing will.
This is an email-only competition.
Email only. Right, here's the first one. Initial is B, so it's
B.
a band starting with B.
Okay.
And the cryptic clue is, I don't like them birds, they shouldn't be allowed in this area.
I don't like them birds, they shouldn't be allowed in this area. Next one.
Right, the next one. He doesn't like women, yet he's got a couple of kids, that's a bit weird.
Is that a cryptic clue, or is that just...
Is that just a
Is that
thought
just a
you've
general
had?
point?
Is that it?
That's the cryptic clue.
Okay.
And the initials there are PD.
Okay.
And, the last one,
I've got that one. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Okay, quickly.
Oh God.
And the last one is, that bloke who does...
Come on!
It's making me laugh.
Come on, Carl. Be professional.
Right, the last one. Right. I can't do it, it's making me laugh.
Oh, come on, I'll come and read them then.
No, hang on,
come on, Carl.
Right, here we go.
They don't do this on Blockbusters on TV, do they?
No, come on.
That bloke who does sport on telly. He's got a little kid, right? Initials DC.
What? Is that?
I'm
that
completely
the clue?
confused by that.
Was that the clue?
Yeah, that bloke who does sport on telly.
Yeah.
He's got a little kid. Initials DC.
Okay, is that a band? Or an artist?
It's, well, I'm not
A
gonna tell you.
cheese.
I'm not
This is
gonna tell
a well-known sandwich. Is it, what is it? Is it a
Fine.
band or an
Right,
artist?
so just quickly recap. That's
Okay.
it's a
Come
D.
on, Carl.
Right,
Come on.
quick recap. The first one is B. I don't think them birds should be around in this area. Right, that's B. Right? Second one, he doesn't like women, yet he's got a few kids. It's a bit weird. That's PD. And the final one, that bloke who does sport on the telly, he's got a little kid. Right? DC.
Alright, and it's ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you want to enter for Hellraiser.
Oh, I'll
all
tell you
those
what,
other
continue
quick
to do that little theme here of like some old stuff people haven't heard of. If you're under 30, probably never heard of this band. It's also a new thing I'm going to introduce to it. It's Show Up Camfield. Camfield talks the talk, he doesn't walk the walk, he doesn't play some rock classics on his show, because he's scared. I'm going to play the tracks that Camfield's too scared to play. This is Kansas and Carry On Your Wayward Son, alright? Brawl, Nirvana.
Amazing.
We were just talking, we were getting excited about that,
Yeah,
aren't
he's
we?
got an incredible
Brilliant.
voice he has.
And Grohl, drumming, it's brilliant. You Know You're Right, the new one from Nirvana. Well, it's time for Educating Ricky Part 2, isn't it? I'm excited, Carl. I'm gonna learn so much from this. What's the choices again? What's
Right, you've got left.
Still keep phoning your answers to, Email, sorry, yeah.
The answers to Rockbusters.
Yeah.
Right, okay, Educating Ricky, Part 2.
Right. I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah.
Is one.
I've gotta go for that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or the other one is the police are causing a bit of a stir.
He still says it like it's the best thing he's ever come up with, which in a way it is.
It could be. Right, go on then. I'm committed to this treatment.
Right. Do you know the saying?
Is it just sayings now? Are they all sayings this week?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, the other one isn't. Frog in your throat?
The saying, there's a frog in your throat?
Yeah.
I assume it's, when you, croak a little bit. You sound like a frog.
No. Right. Might seem a bit weird, this one, right? But years ago,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what is that clue? Committed to this treatment?
it's about frogs Kermitted. Kermit.
Probably works better with a K and an ER written down.
Well, also, if you'd pronounced it Kermitted,
yeah.
but not committed.
Committed to this treatment! Right, go on then.
That's genius.
So yeah.
Well, what?
You go to the doctors and you go with throat hurting a bit.
Right.
And what they did ages ago,
Ages ago, what year was this approximately?
we are going back quite a bit with this one.
Oh, okay, go on.
And the doctor would say,
He did history. Imagine years ago, go on.
and the doctor would say, right, keep your mouth open, I need to look at your tonsils. And the jaw would ache a bit, because they weren't as quick back then, because they didn't have the technology and stuff, and they'd have to, like, stare at it and study it and stuff. And, like, they get an achy jaw, right?
Keeping their mouth open.
Yeah, like, you get, you know,
Yeah.
when you eat a Mars bar or whatever, it's a bit, So, they'd sat there, and they used to always close their mouth, and it used to annoy the doctor, right?
Sure.
So what they did, they used to get a toad
Right.
and put it in the mouth,
Rubbish.
Okay, keep talking. Keep talking.
and that way they couldn't close the mouth because either they'd squash it,
Right.
or apparently you're not allowed to lick a toad's back.
So the doctor would have them for breaking the law?
No, but it's poisonous, right? A toad's back. You should never lick a toad's back.
Or put it in your mouth, really.
Oh, just stop for a second.
Wait. What?
Can I just ask one question?
Go on,
Can I
yeah,
just
go
ask
on.
one question?
I've got a few, but
No,
go on.
sure. My initial thought is, it sounds like a brilliant bit of sort of medical, knowledge there. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
My only thought is, how does the doctor see past the toad at your tonsils?
What's he actually looking at with the mouth open? Surely the toad is
Isn't
in
it
the
like
way.
hopping around in the way?
It didn't say.
Sorry, and my first question is, was this on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Carl, that is bollocks. That is, I mean,
Well, alright then. Let's turn this round. Where does the saying, you got a frog in your throat come from?
probably because you sound a bit croaky. Probably that. Probably because you sound a little bit like a frog when you've got a sore throat.
Carl, did you not question it just for a moment when you read it? Just for a second, didn't you think, that seems an odd approach? Firstly, why a frog, of all the different
Because
species?
it's poisonous. A toad.
So it's a toad as well.
Yeah, well, it worked. I'm committed. Worked.
No,
No, the point is it's frog in the throat.
I was gonna change it to, have you heard the news Toad Day? But I went with the frog.
Oh God!
Right, so
that's
think
rubbish.
about it.
So that's rubbish. Next, can I have,
Let's play a tune, let's come up with the last one.
God.
Oh,
Can I just
Clara?
say, no, just play it.
yeah?
Yo, Carl.
I have to thank my mate Dave, who sent me an incredible 4-disc compilation. That was one of the tunes on there.
It looks professional, it's amazing.
It's incredible,
The
yeah.
effort
Oh,
is
he's gone to too much
commendable.
effort. Ben Queller, it's a track called In Other Words from his album Shah Shah.
Open wide. Oh dear, that's interesting. Oh, here, doctor. You've actually got a frog in your throat. I didn't get there. I put it in there. That's the most ludicrous story I've ever heard, Carl. Why don't you think when you read these things?
I think there's always going to be a bit of truth in all of these. I mean, that fella called up, didn't he, and said, I'm not sure about the, putting a frog in your throat if you got, problems with your tonsils or whatever. But he said, years ago, if someone had toothache, they'd get hold of a frog and strap it to the face.
Yeah, sure.
So, maybe, down the line, maybe they did. Maybe they didn't do it for long.
guys,
I think Caligula made his emperor, a horse and emperor as well, but I mean, it doesn't... Go on.
Dick Anderson's been back in touch.
Excellent.
I think, so he's obviously...
We've turned him round now,
Well,
he loves it now,
he's been
doesn't
tuning in, he says,
loves it now.
He says, Ricky, thanks for a really forgettable 2 hours of radio. I think I'll spend the time next week counting my feet. That's from Richard Anderson. So, we've turned him round.
Do you know where the phrase counting my feet comes from? Well, in the olden days, right, and I'm talking ages ago, when you really loved something, you used to, as a sign of respect, like, say, a radio show, you'd count your feet. And that's where that comes from,
That's where it
Carl.
Well, what about the frog thing with a poisonous back?
It's rubbish.
That's true. No, the toads have, the secretions in there.
Why?
But they didn't put it in people's mouths.
No, so,
Why?
well, I'll tell you why. When a badger or a heron tastes the toad, it's horrible. Ugh. The toad might die, but it's for the good of the species, because then, think how many toads, looking like that heron could eat in its lifetime. So, the fact that one toad sacrificed itself, all those other toads, in that heron's manner, will be safe.
Why? I mean, we've talked about animals a lot on the show, right?
Yeah.
And when God made a toad...
Sure.
Right, okay, well,
So
I'm
you
gonna
say-
stop you there, straight away.
Don't. Just let him carry on.
Right.
Okay.
Like, there's annoying things out there, jellyfish is a big problem with me. I don't understand what they do in the sea and stuff.
Right.
Right, but we'll leave them.
God's
right?
a problem for me, but go on.
We won't talk about jellyfish.
No.
With the toad, right, if it's to protect itself,
Yeah.
right, now
No, it's
say...
not to protect itself, it's to protect its species.
Yeah, but that, surely, right, if the toad had a choice, if God said, right, what I'm gonna do for you here, you can have something like a lobster's got claws, big claws to have a fight, or I can give you something that if someone's having a go at you, you've got to try and persuade them to lick your back, as a defence.
Yeah.
What use is, right, right.
God's...
Well, I'll tell you why.
What is God
The
up
fact
to?
that there are still toads around is a testament to that defence working. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay? If the toad had died out, you'd have a point. But they're still around. It works. Alright?
And don't start slagging God off. He's got a lot on his plate. Basically, I think he took on too much.
Particularly in 1 week.
Exactly, it was crazy.
Danger High Voltage, Electric 6, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant. Carl's getting all flustered because I put an elastic band around his head. And we've had a definition of,
Well, hang on a sec,
frog in the throat.
because there's an update to that, Rick.
Go on.
We did just have, one definition here of a frog in the throat. Apparently this has come from some internet site, so who knows how convincing it is, but it says frog in the throat, meaning suffering from temporary hoarseness, needing to clear the throat. Origin from the Old English frogger, meaning hoarseness. That's from Chris. Now that sounds slightly suspect to me.
Why?
But frogger? I mean, it seems odd that it would derive from that when it so clearly appears to be You sound like a frog when you have a sore throat.
Yeah, but the word frog could come from Frogger, because it sounds like it's
I actually
croaking.
wasn't Frogger a game you could play on the
Yeah,
on the
Spectrum.
Spectrum. That's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
game. But listen, hang on, there's an update to that, because just to
Common frog, of course, Rana temporara, that's the Latin name.
Well,
your toad is Buffo Buffo. All
you
right?
may be trying to show off, but I think you're about to embarrass yourself as well,
on.
because you've been slagging off young Karl.
Yeah.
It says here, another email, it doesn't tell us who it's from. Although it's hard to believe now, at one time, medieval physicians believed that the secretions of a frog could cure a cough if they were coated on the throat of the patient. That in itself sounds repulsive, but what makes the idea even worse is the application of the secretions. Instead of painting the treatment on, something which may also have seemed rational, a live frog was placed into the mouth of the sufferer, where it remained until the physician decided that the treatment was complete.
Right.
Apparently Shakespeare's son-in-law, that's a question mark, I don't know what that means. Anyway, it's no wonder that today a froggy or croaky attempt at speech is said to be a frog in your throat. So, you can see that what's happened there is Karl's misread, or been slightly misinformed about, a medieval practice. In a sense, you're both winners, just for taking part. What's your final one, Karl?
Right, the final story is, the police are causing a bit of a stir.
I can't wait.
It's about this fella, I think it's in England somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't know when it happened, but,
Literally ages ago, or?
basically, well, I think it's when they were trying to crack down on, like, drunken people walking about in the street.
Oh, yeah.
And they found this fella.
Saturday. Big Saturday, that one.
And, found this fella, and, all the local people were saying, oh, look at him wandering around, he's drunk and what have you. That's not right, get the police in. He got arrested and that, and they got him in the court. And, the judge was there, and he says, so, you know, what's all this? What's going on? What are you doing wandering about when you've had a drink? You know the rules. You shouldn't be doing that. You had a glazed expression on your face. Blah, blah, blah. What do you have to say for yourself? He only had a glass eye.
So did he have two glass eyes?
No, he had one. But that was, they were about to sort of lock him up.
Was he a bit pissed up as well?
Well, he was pretty livid.
But was he also drunk with a glass eye?
No, that's the
right.
weird thing. He wasn't even, he hadn't even had a drink.
So they just thought, because he had a weird stare.
Because his eyes were all glazed.
Yeah. Where'd you get this from? Why are you telling me this? No, but why are you telling me this? I mean, thank you, because it's, you know, killed a couple of minutes, but why is this educating me? What are you telling me here?
Because there's a bit of a thing there, a bit of a fable, that don't always judge a book by its cover. Yeah? So, the guy, he hadn't even had a drink. He'd probably just been shopping.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, and everyone's, like, getting involved. Like, what's he doing?
Hang on, I don't understand. He's walking down the street, happens to have a glass eye. He was doing nothing else to suggest he was drunk. You don't pick people up just because their eye looks like that.
But even if it happened, why are you telling me? With no particular detail. I know this, that we're gonna get
It's not
people...
enough information.
I know, yeah.
No, there's a bit of a lesson there, educating Ricky. Just, you know, just watch what you say. Don't always jump to conclusions.
The only education I can take from that is that, if I ever do become a policeman, I shouldn't just arrest people because they look a bit drunk. I should just tap their eye with a pen and goes, oh, okay, on you go.
Well,
on you go, yeah.
Guys, can I just stop you there? I'm just going to email Richard Anderson and tell him I agree.
right, listen, we're running out of time and that.
Where does the phrase frog in the throat come from?
We've got
it here. It's been told.
Well, there's three.
Can we play a tune and come back with that? Have we got anything lined up?
Yeah, we've got the song with the story in it.
Come on, Carl, let's do something. Quick, play a record.
Song with a story in it.
But never
this
mind
week.
that, they're listening. We discussed this off air, come on. Play a record.
Right, it's
Song for-
Kinks.
Kinks.
It's a song with a good story in it. You gotta listen to the words.
Carl, what was that? That was your little song with a story,
That's
wasn't
another little feature that we do every Saturday. Little
So
song.
make sure you tune in.
It's a song that's got a good story in it. There's a lot of music about these
What's
days.
that story about then? What's that story
You
about?
don't know what they're going on about. Whereas that, classic from the Kinks, called Lola.
Yeah, what's it about?
I'd listened to it for the first time properly this morning.
Yeah.
And what I've worked out from it is, there's a fella who goes out for a normal Saturday night out. He's in Soho.
Yeah.
He's having a Coca-Cola or whatever. And
Cola, yeah.
he sees this woman, and he thinks, yeah, she's alright. Won't mind a bit of that. So he wanders over, and he sort of gets talking to her. He looks at her, she's got a great figure, nice face and all that.
Lovely knob.
And she speaks, and he goes, oh God. Got a bit of a bloke's voice.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a voice like a bloke. But he thought, you know, that's her only down point.
Sure.
So he dances around with her, and I think he sits on his knee, I think he said.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out it's a fella.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
a sobering lesson.
Yeah.
What do you take from that?
look always sort of, if you think you might be talking to, a
bloke in
bloke who's
drag.
just look at his sort of Adam's apple. And he'll probably have a hairier arse than a woman.
Yeah, I think you've gone too far with then, though. I think you're already getting too close.
It's a bit late to pull out.
No, pun intended, definitely.
There was a pun intended.
Oh, was it? Alright, was it?
Yes.
Alright, okay, we don't be disgusting then. Right, okay, right, the results of,
We
Blockbusters.
ain't got a winner for the first time.
Yes, we have, we've got
done this
loads.
feature for...
We've got loads of winners.
No, we haven't. We've done this feature for 3 weeks. This is the first time I've managed to sort of...
What?
Well, let's go through them then.
What have they got wrong?
The first one.
The first one?
What was the
first
clue?
one,
There's
yeah,
loads,
the first
what's the
Well, hang on,
clue?
let's do them in reverse order first. So what's the last one?
The last one, the clue was, that bloke does sport on the telly and he's got a little kid.
What's that?
That's Destiny's Child. Des, who does ITV Sport,
that's
has got
terrible,
a Tiny's
man.
Child, right? No,
That's terrible.
that's fine, they got that.
okay.
Destiny's Child.
Des-
What's the one?
Des
What's the
Tiny's
middle one?
Right, the middle one.
Right.
Right.
Child.
The second one was, he doesn't like women, yet he's got a couple of kids, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Right? That was PD, that was Puff Daddy.
That is offensive. Go on.
But
next.
it's not Puff Daddy. It's Puff Daddy. And he's not even called that anymore. He's called P. Diddy.
Well,
Okay, fair enough.
but they got that one.
Yeah.
And if I'm being tight, these lot are as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Tight means something in Manchester. Go on.
right? And the first one that they're having problems with, I don't think them birds should be allowed in this
They've
area.
got it.
Boyzone.
It's not Boyzone.
What's the clue again?
I don't think them birds should be allowed in this area.
That is perfect. A boy zone. No birds.
No women.
No women, yeah, birds, right? A boy zone. Sorry, Carl. If that isn't the answer, their clue is better than yours. That is brilliant. What was yours? Boy zone, it works perfectly.
What's your answer then?
Bangles.
I have no idea what that means.
Like seagulls. So you don't want them in this area, so you're banning them. Bangles.
Oh! Well, give it to boy zone, because boy zone's better. Don't think it's birds being allowed in this area, it's a boy
I think
zone.
we should have a rollover. Carl beat them. Carl beat them. You have to use his logic.
But
Surely.
theirs works. You can't do what am I thinking. No, that's not what I'm thinking. It perfectly. It works perfectly. I think you've got to give it to the ones that got the boy zone.
Well, how about, right, because they didn't actually get into my head, and my way
Well,
of thinking,
heaven
right?
forbid.
How about we just keep back the David Attenborough, and they can have, I'll chuck in the Hellraiser, right?
Okay.
Most of you.
And, Blondie album and the Madness
Yeah,
one.
okay. Pick a winner at random.
Pick
Steve.
a winner, Steve.
I'm going to give it to Paul Sloman, who got those answers, and he also says, P.S. Carl, you're a moron. So, I'm
Brilliant.
giving that to Paul, and good luck to him.
Right, well,
He's got a crazy night tonight. If we can rush these over to him, he's got a cracking
Yeah, yeah.
Saturday night.
well, if I'm a moron, I might get your address wrong when I send them to you.
Oh,
Coming right back at you, Paul.
Yes. Right. John, play your song.
Is this the
Oh,
almost
Carl's
done?
annoyed because
Wow,
they didn't
he's
get
wild.
banned goals.
A song from song for the ladies. I think we seem to have missed this a lot of weeks, but this
Sure.
is I've been wanting to play this
It's
for
not like
ages.
us to forget things like that.
This is a band, Frente, who kind of came and went and
Oh,
no one
yeah.
was particularly interested, but they did do this lovely acoustic version of the New Order tune, Bizarre Love Triangle,
Oh,
and
right.
this just shows you how incredible the melodies and the words and everything are.
Brilliant, I'm a fan.
New Order, just play this.
Good night.
Songs for the
Bye-bye.
ladies. Is this
Bye.
the week?
Do you reckon Richard Anderson will be back next week?
Yeah, Richard Anderson will not miss this show.
Excellent.